The following may contain offensive language, adult humor, and/or content that some viewers may find offensive. The views and opinions expressed by any one speaker does not explicitly or necessarily reflect or represent those of Mark Radulich or W2M Network. Please listen with caution, or don't listen at all.
Hooray for Hollywood, where stars are living large, in mansions with their servants and their credit cards in charge, with fame that's fleeting, but the egos never change, where everyone's a genius, except the ones who really arrange. Hooray for Hollywood, where the scandals always sell, where every whispered secret is a new tabloid's tell. Oh, how we adore the endless red carpet galore. Hooray for Hollywood, where less is always more.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, you are listening to a Rad Religion Broadcasting premiere podcast, Damn You Hollywood. And here's your host, Robert Winfrey.
Yay, I get applause. I'm so happy with your new soundboard, Mark. Thank you for all that you do on behalf of the production staff of this, because it's pretty much just you.
Thanks. Introduce everybody else. I want to keep playing with buttons.
Okay. Well, joining us as tonight we are tackling a thing that I'm struggling to properly categorize. But joining us tonight, we have Alexis Haina. How you doing, Alexis?
I hate you so much, Mark.
And who else do we have on the panel tonight?
I'm curious what you have for this. We have Zachary Strobel coming in for
his... I was going to do the applause twice, but I got bored. Anyway.
That tracks.
What are we talking about tonight, Robert?
Well, we are talking about Super Mario Brothers Galaxy.
Yes,
a good
sir,
game.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The 2023 Super Mario Brothers movie is an animated adventure comedy sequel to the Super Mario Brothers movie 2023, directed by Aaron Horvath and Michael Jelenic, and written by Matthew Fogel. Chris Pratt, Anya Taylor-Joy, Charlie Day, Jack Black, and Keegan-Michael Key reprised their roles, joined by Benny Safdie, Donald Glover, Yogi, Glen Powell, and Brie Larson in a comeback tour. Produced by Illumination and Nintendo, the film follows Mario, Luigi, and their allies as they travel into space, meet Princess Rosalina, and battle Bowser and Bowser Jr. We will get into the money a little bit later. So, before we get started, we reviewed the movie, the Super Mario Brothers movie, when it came out a couple of years ago. And rather than have a 20-minute discussion, recapping that, I have some notes here. This is basically what we said in Totem in 1,000 characters or less. The 2023 Super Mario Brothers movie is framed less as a traditional narrative and more as a tightly engineered nostalgia machine. Pavlovian design, built on visual and musical cues that trigger recognition and reward. The review defends its thin plot and rapid pacing as intentional, comparing it to Rocky IV. A sequence of set pieces delivering exactly what audiences expect. It rejects critics demanding depth, arguing the film succeeds by respecting the IP, avoiding agenda-driven interpretation, and prioritizing audience satisfaction. Illumination is positioned as aligned with viewers in contrast to Disney Pixar misfires. While flaws are acknowledged, underwritten characters, especially Peach and limited Luigi, the film is praised for understanding its purpose, not to tell a complex story, but to deliver familiar Mario experiences efficiently and effectively. And boy, did they fucking double down on that in this movie. But before we get into that, let me throw it over to Alexis, because you had some real problems with the Super Mario Bros. Galaxy's marketing run-up, didn't you?
Definitely. So it's no secret that one of the big things with the Mario movie is the Easter eggs. I mean, that was one of the big things with the first one, and we knew that they were going to, I'd say, double down, but it's more like they quadrupled down on it with this one, to the point that they were actually advertising, count all the Easter eggs. Bet you can't find all the Easter eggs. I mean, this is how you turn a movie into a Where's Waldo. And one of the biggest problems was that they started focusing marketing on all of these extra characters. it's not just we get the villains from Mario 2 in the second trailer with Wart and Birdo and Mauser, but they really started focusing on all these trailers. So it's like, oh look, there's Ukiki the monkey, and there's Pikmin, and there's Rob, remote operating buddy robot, by the way.
Yeah.
And and the biggest one for me came literally a week before this movie was released, when they announced that Star Fox was going to be appearing in this movie with Glen Powell joining the marketing. And it really started to feel like, guys, you're giving us all of this. Why do we even want to see this movie anymore if you're going to tell us everything that's in it? I started having flashbacks to our discussion about Captain America Brave New World, when we talked about how the marketing department had totally bungled the reveal of Red Hulk.
Yeah.
And we're all saying it's like, this movie, well, it wouldn't have been 100% better, but it would have been more enjoyable had we not known Red Hulk was going to be in it, if that had been left as a surprise. And there's a lot of things in this movie that I just sat there going, I would have normally squeed at this because I am a huge Nintendo fan and I grew up playing Mario games. But because you guys revealed this in the advertising, I just was like, okay, and connect the dots and check.
You blew all the excitement on crappy social media engagement instead of an audience reaction.
Let me I'm going to present the opposing argument here based only on the fifth, because you said it with Captain America Brave New World, and I remember reading about the marketing about that. Part of the problem was toy lines are now preceding the movies by several months, and I remember them saying that the reason why they the Red Hulk reveal came out was they had already made toys of this. People knew the Red Hulk was coming, so they just might as well take advantage of it in the marketing. I have to expect that that somewhat led into what they were doing here with Universal and Illumination, where whatever was going to be in this movie was out as products well before the movie was out. So there is nothing to keep a secret anymore. Let me read this comment that's on screen here, and I'll give you guys a chance to respond to that. I feel like the whole Fox McCloud thing is secretly teasing a new Star Fox game for Switch too. Like how the first movie secretly teased DK Bonanza. That's kind of what I'm saying. Like, there, a ways back, Bill, my last example of this, I remember, Alexis, you like blew it off or didn't listen or didn't care what I was having to say at the time. But I remember there was a whole thing where they were integrating the Star Wars hotel, a ride, and a movie that were all coming out like within months of each other. And so,
they were like going to try and make the hotel a key point in the Acolyte or something. And
they were trying to blend all these things together. And so I think that's what's guiding, Zach, a lot of the marketing now for these movies is this idea of building these all-encompassing experiences. So Alexis kind of put her thoughts out there. I gave my rebuttal. What are your thoughts on how this movie was marketed and anything that we've been saying so far, Zach?
Well, first of all, I feel like the marketing was weird because I don't know about you guys, but wasn't this movie supposed to be called like Super Mario World like 2 months ago?
This movie got put on hiatus for a long time because of the writer's strike. It should have come out a long time before this, but obviously they needed more time to work on the script. It was advertised as the Super.
They weren't doing anything else but working on the script based on the end product.
Down, boy, down. We're gonna get there.
There was original advertising just calling it Super Mario 2. I remember seeing that because they were using the Yoshi egg as the palette for the font choice. Mm-hmm. The concept of calling this Super Mario Galaxy did not come until much more recently, which I think threw a lot of us for kind of a loop, because I do remember when we predicted what we were going to see in Super Mario 2, Rosalina and the Galaxy concept was not on there. I think a lot of us, especially those of us who, really follow the lore of the games, are saying they're going, really? You're going to jump into this that quickly?
I know. It's not like there are any other games between the original Super Mario Brothers and the Super Mario Galaxy. Wait, as you may have noticed, there is no prop in my hand because I didn't grow up playing that. But even if I did, I'm sure there are other games between the original and the Galaxy games. So
Are you purposely banging him around? Are you purposely banging him around for effect?
No, I'm doing it because I'm clumsy.
Okay, I just needed to make sure.
But there were a lot of us who were expecting something not quite Galaxy. I think we had originally predicted Wario and Daisy, the Koopa Kids, and I'm not talking Bowser Jr., but I'm talking Iggy, Lemmy, Wendy, Ludwig, all the ones you see in Super Mario 3 and Super Mario World. Yeah. And I remember a lot of us saying we were predicting a Donkey Kong spinoff.
Oh, that would have been awesome.
I need to pause the conversation for just a second.
Yeah.
Prior to you guys coming on, Robert and I had 2 or 3 minutes of talking, and I apologized to him because for years I've made fun of him and criticized him for reacting the way I'm reacting to this movie, and I'm gonna on camera apologize a second time because the glaze that's currently coming over my face is the exact same one you get when I talk about The Wire. I'm not stopping you, and I'm not. This isn't an example of you driving me up the wall. It was just one of those things I couldn't let myself let the moment pass. You talking about these games in your loving detail as a fan, whoosh, just I all of a sudden in my head, yum yum bumblebee tuna.
Yeah, Zach and I are both big Mario fans. We grew up with these games. But again, I stand by that. I really feel like they revealed way too much. Too many Easter eggs, too many little drops. Hell, the fact that you have a shot in the second trailer of Yoshi holding the Super Scope, and the fans picked up on that. We're like, it's the Super Scope. Oh my God. And then when Bowser Jr. pulls it out, we're like, oh, there's the Super Scope. Again,
there it is.
I can't tell if you're flipping me off or you're actually just annoyed, or if it's both. Yeah, you're going like this.
It's 2 fingers on my temple, and I'm one as I was reading RetroCat. 2, I just I have right now with these rare moments where I have a lot of patience because this is important, and I want you guys to continue your discussion. But
Sorry.
like I said, meow 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 meow.
Forgive me with the angle of the lighting. It looked like you were flipping me off.
No, then I'll do this. These are for you, McNulty.
I love you too, Mark. So again, I just really feel, I know that there's so much they have to reveal in marketing. I get that there's the toy lineup. I get that there's all this other stuff.
And games.
But I really missed when I saw the first Mario movie. I had so many moments where I squeed and I got happy and I was like, I love that. I barely had any of those in this one. I think it was limited to when Mario got the red star, because I'm a big fan of Mario, the actual Mario Galaxy game, and the post-credit scene, which we will talk about. But the rest, it's like, you freaking spoiled every single part.
You had one job. But what I was going to say was, just to backtrack a sec, yeah, I didn't think the marketing was really good for this movie just because, well, first of all, they got the name and the tone of the movie wrong, too. It's like, hey, Super Mario World. Just kidding. Mario Galaxy. Go see it. Rated R.
I didn't know what the name of the movie was until I went to go see it. On my calendar, it's just Super Mario Brothers 2. And tonight as I was putting up the studio and everything, I had to what was the name of this movie again? Just to be clear, my son, when he got his Switch for the first time, played a lot of, it was called Mario World. Was that the name of it? It wasn't Mario Galaxy. That game preceded it.
Was it the official Switch game? Because that's Super Mario Wonder. Is that the one with the singing piranha plants, or did he play Mario Kart? Oh my God, there is a wormhole here, and I'm just going to abandon ship because you're going to kill me if I keep talking.
Whatever game came with the Switch, people.
Oh, I don't know.
It wasn't Paper Mario. Yeah, Odyssey. Thank you, RetroCat.
That one.
Yeah, so I would sit and I would sometimes watch him play, or he was playing it on the big TV in the living room, so I couldn't escape it. There was a lot of him playing Super Mario Odyssey, so I even had a moment there where they were driving through the desert, Mad Max style, and I kind of it's the game my kid likes. I had one of those moments. I've said from the start of this, I'm not the world's biggest Mario fan. I had a PlayStation when these were all popular. And But I've certainly had my movies where I see stuff and I'm like elbowing the person next to me. Like, I'll tell you, I'll skip to what happened at the end of this movie for me. I was telling Robert this. It was over, and I looked at my kids. I was like, that was a fucking chore. And the tears streaming down their eyes. They were like, we loved it. It made us feel young, like when the world was new. And I'm like, ugh, okay. And I walk outside. My son goes into the bathroom, and where the benches that I'm sitting on outside the theater is directly in front of the Masters of the Universe poster. And I thought to myself, I'm like, I'm going to be a good dad. And more than that, I'm going to be a good human and just let them have their moment. Everyone's enjoying this. I don't want to be, the shit in the punch bowl. But I'm going to have my time June 5th when Masters of the Universe comes out. And there's me and Pat and, all of us He-Man fans. And we're all like, yeah, and we're all like toxically masculine about it and just punching girls. It'll be great. We're going to have a grand old time with Masters of the Universe. And my kids are going to look at me when it's over going, so you say you liked this as a child, did you?
There's going to be just this army of 50-year-olds shouting, Fisto! It's Fisto!
I hope. All right.
As opposed to the other army of 50-year-olds going, no, it's Kit Fisto, and then we charge the lines.
Braveheart. Zach, I just want to ask you before Robert gets into the plot synopsis. What were your... I know, if I remember correctly, you said that you liked the last movie. What were your expectations for this one going in?
Well, first of all, this movie is the only movie I actually own on this thing called a DVD. I've never heard of it before then, but I really liked it. I thought it was good. It wasn't like it was. I like that it had some symbol of character, even though it was very bare bones. But it was just showing the world and having fun, kind of that play style of pacing, kind of like the Lego Movie, where it's more like a play. Like the movie was like that, but also I thought it was a good movie. There were 2 jokes I forgot to put in the original review. Can I do them real fast just so I can sleep better tonight?
For you, Zach, you can do 3 jokes.
Oh, that's great. So the first joke was...
Hang on. Is it worse that I'm just mean to you, Alexis, or is it worse that I treat everyone better than you? Just out of the 2. Never mind. Go ahead, Zach.
Okay. So in the original movie, Mario and Luigi are plumbers from Brooklyn, New York. However, I think they should have been from Flushing.
Hang on. Let me help you. Wait, no. All right, keep going.
Oh, come on. If you're going to do that, you at least have to do...
I wanted to play with the new buttons, but you're not wrong.
How has no one uploaded onto our soundboard the SpongeBob "Oh brother, this guy stinks" clip?
Well, because I don't think that's
I don't know, but if I ask Dorian to do it, it'll be 10 times louder than we need it to be. What's your other joke there, pal?
Okay, so I didn't think so. Even though the movie was fictitious, I think the most unrealistic part of that movie is when that woman called the Mario Brother plumbers, and the plumbers just showed up immediately.
Robert, the plot synopsis.
For the record, I found the brother, this guy stinks in a 5-second clip. I will now send that to you, Mark.
Please don't.
You can just upload it yourself. Why is everyone making me do their work for them?
I actually don't know how to upload video or like sound bites and clips into the media assets. I legit do not know how to do that.
Okay, so I got out of this thing, and I needed to understand. I needed more than what I was given. Some deep void within me opened up, and so at great personal risk, I found a transcript of the original pitch for this movie, which I have and will now read. So forgive me. I do not have it in me to try and emulate the tone, but you should get the gist of this pretty soon here. Okay, so out in space, there's a princess. She's on like a spaceship, and she's like the mom to all the little stars, and her name's Princess Rosalina. And she tells the stars about Peach and Mario and Luigi, and the stars they like Donkey Kong. But this big bad guy, Bowser Jr., shows up in a big robot, and he kidnaps Rosalina because he's a bad guy, and she's a magic princess, and he needs her magic. But one of the stars goes off to find Peach and Mario and Luigi because they're the good guys. Then Mario and Luigi ride bikes across the desert, and they go to help some skeletons. Not the bad ones, but the good ones in the desert. And they find Yoshi, so now Yoshi's with them. And they go back to the Mushroom Kingdom, where it's Peach's birthday. It's not really her birthday because she doesn't know when she was born because the mushrooms found her as a baby. But Mario makes her feel better by giving her an umbrella because she's got an umbrella in the games.
It's a parasol.
And then the star shows up and tells Peach.
The 12-year-old boy writing this doesn't know what a parasol is. Keep going, Robert.
You're overestimating the age of the writer.
Okay.
And then the star shows up and tells Peach she's got to save Rosalina. So Peach and Toad, they go flying through space and leave Mario and Luigi in charge. So Mario and Luigi, they do stuff from the games. You can see the guys with hammers and the really big fish and the frog costume. And then they go talk with little Bowser because he's little. But then Bowser Jr. shows up and he takes the whole castle up on his spaceship because he wants his dad back. And then there's a fight and the castle falls and crashes on another planet. So Mario and Yoshi and Luigi and Bowser. Oh, Bowser's big now and he's a good guy too. They need to find Peach, so they find a bunch of bees. And the queen bee gives them a bug to fly that'll take them to where Peach and Toad are, but Bowser has to stay. But it's okay because Bowser Jr. shows up anyway and brings his dad up onto his spaceship, and Bowser Jr. tells Bowser how he was a good dad and he loved his bedtime stories. And now he's made all those stories real, and he's going to show them around his really super cool room at Planet Bowser. But Peach and Toad, they get to this planet where you can get to other planets, and there's a monkey, and it steals their stuff, so they chase the monkey. Then they find this place. It's a place where the bad guys are. And one of the bad guys knows where Planet Bowser is, but he won't tell. So Peach beats up all the bad guys, and he tells her where it is. But she needs a ship because she can't fly. She can float like the games, but she can't fly yet. And then Peach and Toad, they find Rob. He's from the games, too.
Ew.
And he does the sloth thing from Zootopia where he points really, really slow, and it's funny. So Peach and Toad go looking for a ship, and they find Star Fox. He's a good guy, and he's really cool, so he'll help them. And then Mario and Luigi and Yoshi show up, and they all talk with Rob, and he does the slow thing again because it's funny.
Pause for a second. Alexis, this is helpful if you can think about Rob's voice, the bit that he's doing, but it's the character from Animaniacs, like the little kid that runs into the room, tells you a story, then says, "I love you, bye-bye."
Indeed.
If I had a modicum of talent, I would be
Remy
attempting
Beeman
that.
character.
Yeah. Do that voice in your head while he's talking.
If I had anything like a approximating voice talent, I would be doing that voice. For
I just met Tom Ruger the other day, and even I wouldn't torture him with that.
Keep going.
Let's see, where were we? Oh, yeah. So then Mario and Luigi and Yoshi show up, and they talk with Rob. Then they find Peach and Fox takes them all up in his spaceship. Once they're in space, Bowser Jr. shows up and tries to shoot them, but Star Fox, he's better at flying. But Bowser Jr. has this gun that turns people into babies when it shoots them. So he shoots Mario and Luigi, and now they're babies, and they make Star Fox crash. So now Mario and Luigi are babies, and they do a Yoshi's Island. So Yoshi has to protect the babies, and there's a big dinosaur that chases them. But they got Bowser Jr.'s baby gun, so they can reverse it and turn it back, because that's how guns work. Once they're back like grown-ups, Luigi calls for help on a radio, and all the little stars on Rosalina's ship hear it, and they decide to start coming over to help. While the stars are traveling, Bowser and Bowser Jr. finally get to planet Bowser. And Bowser Jr. shows off all the stuff he built. They've got their faces on mountains and a roller coaster that goes into lava and a really big gun like that old movie, Star Wars, that blows up planets. And they need Rosalina because she's magic, and they use her magic to make the gun work. And Bowser Jr. wants Bowser to be a bad guy again. And Bowser, he wants to be a good dad. And the best way to be a good dad is to do whatever your kid wants whenever he wants. So now Bowser's a bad guy again. Then the stars show up in Rosalina's spaceship, and they rescue Peach and Mario and Luigi and Yoshi and Star Fox and Toad. And Peach remembers that she's Rosalina's little sister and that she's magic too. And then Star Fox drives the spaceship to planet Bowser, and Peach and Mario and Luigi and Yoshi all go down to stop the bad guys. And they do like the game again where they run and they jump over everything. And then Mario and Peach, they fight Bowser on a bridge, but they get around him like the game and drop him into lava. And Bowser Jr. is sad, but Bowser isn't dead. He's like skeleton Bowser now. So Mario starts to fight them while Peach goes to rescue Rosalina because she's the hero of the Mario movie.
Grace Randolph will be so thrilled.
And then Mario can't beat Bowser and Bowser Jr., but then Luigi and Yoshi show up, and they've got power-ups like the game. So there's a big fight, and they break Bowser up, but his head's okay, so he can talk, and he's not dead. He just can't move. Then Bowser Jr. summons a big paint dragon because he's got this magic paintbrush, and that's his weapon. But the dragon won't listen. It eats Bowser Jr., so Mario has to save him because Mario's a good guy. Then Peach and Rosalina, they, you know that old movie Frozen? Yeah, they do a Frozen. And they touch, and then magic happens, and all the metal turns to grass, and everyone's okay now. So they have to rebuild Peach's castle, and Star Fox gets his ship fixed so he can go back home and do a spinoff. And Bowser Jr. are in jail. And that creepy star from the first movie is their guard. It was funny because my dad, after listening to that star, said he was depressed, and depression's scary, right? And, we go back to that first place where you go to other places from, and we see Princess Daisy fighting with the monkey. And that's it.
I thought you were done. I was trying to time that to as soon as you were done, and you always keep just going a little bit further.
Mark, this is on the test. Come on, man. We got to pay attention.
Hey, Zach, before we start, I'm going to go to you first for your thoughts on the movie, but you wanted to show off your girlfriend, and I'm only going to warn you about this once. You feel free to bring her on camera, but the last guy that did that, we turned his girlfriend into a long-running joke. So if you're okay with that, I mean, I'm not saying I might purr and say her name the way that we did Natalia. I'm just saying it's a risk. The last girl that happened to, that's what happened.
Could be worse when I brought in. Could be worse when I brought in my husband. You decided to make a running joke that he was a communist for the longest time.
Anyway, Leia.
By the way, Robert, next time you want to do that, it's fine, but you are required to let me know in advance because I really need alcohol.
So I meant to reference that that was going to be my bit for the evening in the pre-meeting, but we got stuck talking about something else. So
well, you told me you were going to do it in the I
told you I had something new, and
yeah.
I was prepared to fall on my face for the art in this case.
Leia, come on in.
Listen, man, I am at heart a jazz musician. Hi, Leia.
Hi.
Zach insisted you be on camera. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Leia, what did you think of the movie in like 2 words?
It didn't make sense.
That was
That's
more. You're an extra tipper, huh?
It's okay. I'll do training. She's new. She's fine. Right, thank you. Thank you, Leia. All right. Bye.
I'm not sold on purring at her just yet, just so you know, but know that I was thinking it. All right, Zach, what did you think of this ridiculous movie?
Well, first of all, I was going to review it as a film critic, but unfortunately, this is a movie made for children, and not that there's anything wrong with it, but everyone is saying that it is. So I, as someone who writes children's books and teaches kids, I will try to review it from that standpoint. I think basically the movie doesn't care about things like story or making sense. It just wants to entertain, and as fast as possible. The movie is like Jingling Keys, the movie in space. And the reason it is, but you know what?
You can't hear them jingle because there's no air particles to transmit the sound.
They can breathe in space.
I was going to say they do breathe in the Mario universe.
Nobody can hear you jingle keys in space, Mario.
I don't know. That is the sound that wakes up network executives in a cold sweat. There's some crossover where Alien and like, oh no, I can't just jingle nostalgia at my audience anymore, and they can't handle the having to actually do something with their lives and be good at their jobs.
Yeah, but the thing about it is, despite being, say what you want about space. First of all, space is big. Walmart is bigger, but space is pretty big.
Thank you, Douglas Adams.
Yes. And also, it's the only place not corrupted by capitalism.
Wow.
You don't know what's going on out there in the universe.
Zach with the zinger of the night.
Thank you.
What is going on with our reality right now?
Well, the movie doesn't make any sense, so I'm not making any sense. There we go.
I respect the performance art.
Thank you. But with all real, the thing is, look, we could say whatever we want about this movie. Well, at least I can. My point is, people are going. Look, I haven't reviewed a movie on this website since August. This movie got me out of my house to go see the movie, and in the movie, we saw it at 11 a.m. in the morning. The kids in the theater were laughing at most of the jokes. They were repeating the lines. They were having a good time, and honestly, that's good. The movie's not good, but the only reason it's not good is because it's just look. With the first movie, it was like it had a sense of atmosphere. It had basic characters. It did the bare minimum, yes, but that wasn't the point of the movie. The point of the movie was to just show the games in a movie and move forward. And the only problem I had with that movie was it was a little fast. This movie is like the pacing from the last movie, but on crack. It is just so fast. And
relentless is what it was.
No, it was relentless. Because seriously, it didn't make and it doesn't seem like, oh, you just don't understand. I'm like, no, it really effectively hurts the movie. Like in the movie, Bowser is like, they're like, I'm gonna stay in jail. And it is like, well, why is he doing that? Does he have a plan? Is he changed? And and before you think about all that stuff, 10 seconds later, he's freed. Like he gets captured. Was that part of his plan? Did he get lucky? This is writing film 101. I mean, yeah, and just because it's for kids doesn't mean that it's like we can just do whatever you want, jingle keys, whatever. Yes, I watched a lot of dumb movies as a kid, but you know what? They at least had basic stories. The last movie had its own standards, and it doesn't. I'm thinking too much. The movie was pretty too. I'll give it that.
And now, Pongo's review of Rocky 5000. Pongo?
Oh, sorry. I thought it was.
I was waiting for Alexis to
I didn't know if Pongo was me or Robert.
Robert always goes last. Where you've never done?
Well, you've never called me Pongo before, so
I really should have gone. You really should have gone with Purdy.
Well, the thing of it was I was going to go, and now Alexis.
There we go. No, I got her to react to it. She knew what I would. She knew the reference.
I get. Okay, well, I will start by saying, Zach, you stole my line because I did literally walk out of the theater. I said, "Huh, so that's what jingling keys for 90 minutes is like." It's funny because I remember the things that a lot of people complained about with the first movie, and they took steps to correct all of that. You want Peach to have an arc? Fine. She's got an arc. You want more time spent with the brothers? Fine. Mario and Luigi get more screen time together. You want less pointless slow-mo? Fine. Less pointless slow-mo. You want more characters? Fine. More characters. And there were a lot of parts of this movie I did enjoy, but it feels like it was... How do I put this? It feels like they took the stuff that was good about the first movie and really oversaturated it to the point that there is just nothing but that. Again, I talked about the crazy amounts of Easter eggs that, hell, I rewatched. Someone put the clip of Yoshi going through New York, and for the record, I would actually watch a short film of Yoshi being a tourist. And there's a freaking
I'll go you one better. It's Yoshi, but he's Axel Foley in Beverly Hills Cop. Because Yoshi walking around New York to jazzy music would be fantastic. Back to you.
There's a freaking Punch-Out reference in that. There's a scene of Little Mac in his pink jumpsuit running past Yoshi. That it's like I totally missed that.
I think I had to wait for 1 second and missed like 5 plot points. Continue.
So there were a lot of parts of this I did enjoy. I will give credit. The voice acting was all really good. I actually found out apparently Glen Powell and Donald Glover reached out to Universal. They had their agents reach out. Glen Powell, apparently Star Fox is like his favorite video game. and he has been dreaming of playing Star Fox. So he was like, please, please. And he gets a hold of the director, and the director is literally going, he doesn't know we're planning on putting Star Fox in the movie. And Donald Glover, again, reached out and he said, I do a really good Yoshi. And you know what? His Yoshi is really good. Okay. At no point did I hear Yoshi and I thought, oh, God, it's a lousy impression. No, he did a good impression of it. Hell, even Brie Larson, who I know is a lot of people have problems with, I thought she was good as Rosalina.
Helps that Rosalina barely exists.
She looks like Elsa. Maybe because I didn't play the games.
The running gag now is Brie Larson's out of actress jail, seeing as what's her face from Snow White.
They
Rachel
reached
Zegler.
capacity, so when Rachel Zegler went in, they had to release someone, and they chose to release.
Well, they're trying to shove Millie Goldcock or whatever the hell her name is.
Alcock.
Thank you, Millie Alcock, in the jail, and there's like an active fight to keep her out of the jail as people are trying to shove her in the jail. But yes, Brie Larson's out for good behavior.
Like I said, there are a lot of things I liked about this, but in the end, I did have fun, but I can't, in all good terms, call this a really good movie. The first Super Mario movie is still one of my favorites. I have it on Amazon. I've watched it 1,000 times. I love it. This one, it really did feel like there was no moment to breathe. Just, oh, look, reference, more references. I am actually grateful. They tried to sell me a 4K ticket, and thank Christ I didn't take that. I don't think my seat would have actually held still for like a nanosecond.
I cannot believe I'm about to say.
I don't understand how that works.
Hang on 1 second. I cannot believe I'm going to say what I'm about to say, and I choke on the words coming out of my mouth, but I completely agree with Zach and Alexis. This is an unrelenting, nonstop, overwhelming piece of shit. I couldn't take it. I fell asleep and walked out of the theater to go get a drink. And I said to the mom next to me, like, you needed to take a break too, huh? And she looked at me like she had PTSD and she had gotten on the helicopter out of Nam. And she was like, yeah, I wanted to get a drink. Unfortunately, they don't sell alcohol at this counter.
You should.
I will say, Zach is right, though. I saw this on a packed house on opening night. There were tons of little kids. The little kids were all cheering. There is nothing in this movie that is detrimental to children. There's no point. So if kids are going to enjoy it and diehard Nintendo fans are going to enjoy it, then it's harmless. It's nowhere near as good as the first movie, but for the most part, I'm just going to call it, put that in the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Mostly harmless.
I got my son that book for Christmas, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
The first one or the complete set?
No, just I might have gotten him the complete set. No, I only got him the first one because he remarked how short it was. I wanted to see how he would do with the first one before I got him the whole set.
Gotcha.
The first book is self-contained.
I just wanted to say before we get with the 4K, is that the one where the seats move, right?
Seats move. They have smoke, mist, bubbles. I went to that for one movie. It was Fall Guy, that Ryan Reynolds movie about the video game.
Yeah.
And I hated it because every time a gun is shot, they have like a little poof of air that goes by your head, and it kept hitting behind my ear, and it hurt. So I was slouching down in the theater to avoid
Rambo
that.
First Blood Part 2 in 4K.
What I was gonna say was if
I got too excited there.
There's a scene where they fly into space. Like, do they just like catapult you towards the screen, like just people flying into the screen?
I know, I didn't. They tried to sell me, and I was like, no. You are sending me
Super Mario Galaxy movie in feel around. Oh God!
Oh no!
The seats do move, and I don't think they'd like. It probably just like lurches forward or something. But
you made the right call.
Yeah.
All right. Let me get into this. I don't want to repeat everything that Alexis and Zach said. Like I said, we all agree this was a bit much. I'm just going to stick to a couple of points and then let Robert say his thing. I don't agree with Rosalina having not Rosalina. I don't really agree with Peach having an arc. I said that to Robert before the thing. This isn't really the Super Mario Brothers movie starring Mario. This is Peach's movie where Mario and Luigi are kind of, the rockers. They're just kind of doing their own thing and they're hanging out for a little while. But
they're the nasty boys following around Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, more or less. Good analogy.
But
This is
again,
Peach.
remember all the complaints. It's like Peach doesn't do anything.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
this
I'm not
movie.
arguing
Yeah.
that point. I'm saying look, they made her the star of the movie. That I agree with you. They gave her what you're talking about, Alexis, is they gave her a storyline. This is the bit from Ask a Ninja where like everybody in the movie gets a plot line. She got a plot line is what she got. She did not have an arc. An arc is you start in one place, you end in another. Peach is fully formed at the beginning of the movie. She is the same character at the end of the movie, but she has a plot line. Her plot line is go save and reunite with sister, which she does. And I mean, it's not good writing, but I'm not going to set the world on fire because of it. But it needs to be pointed out that I'm confused. Matthew's line is what was ringing through after the "Oh God, when does this stop?" went out of my head like I'm fucking Alex from A Clockwork Orange. The most like prevailing thought I had going through my head as this movie was going through was, this is a video game I can't play. And I stopped myself from thinking about that any further because I was like, oh, wait, this is meant for an audience who for the last 20 years has been watching other people play video games. It reminded me of Fluffy's line, the comedian Gabriel Iglesias, I think it is, where he watches his stepson watching Let's Plays, and he was like, why do you just watch people play video games? Why don't you play yourself? And he was like, why do you watch football? And the comparison is, I missed the line. The line is, well, these are professionals. For the same reason you watch football, you watch professional people play this game. I'm watching professional video gamers play this because I want to see what it looks like when it's done well. Mm-hmm. Fine. That's the comparison, and I'm not arguing with it. But I realize that's a large contingent of this audience that this movie was made for. It's made for the Let's Play generation, of which I am not one of those people. So it was a little hard for me to sort of reconcile that, as I want to watch an actual movie. I don't want to watch a Let's Play for an hour and a half. And then I realized this movie isn't meant for me. And I turned into Robert. So the next thing I want to say is that this is just one set piece into another. That's the other character. The one character in this movie, take two. The character that actually has a plot, that actually has an arc and a plot line, is Bowser. So the other thought I had was, I'm watching a movie that is mistitled. This is the Peach and Bowser movie, not the Mario Brothers movie, because the Mario Brothers are incidental to the plot line. That, like Robert said, they are just a tag team that's hanging around, waiting around to do action stuff, but they don't affect the plot line at all in any way, in any real way. This story is about Bowser, which was an odd choice, because this is about, like, do you allow yourself to be redeemed, or do you give in to evil? Like, that's his whole storyline. It's like, I want to be, he has to decide between, like, I want to be with my son. I have made friends with these fairly decent people, and they don't deserve to be tortured and killed. I don't know what to do with myself. That would be interesting if they actually done something with it other than what they did, because and I have now looked way further into this movie than anyone who made it did, and that's a big problem for me. It's an odd choice, just on the surface level. It's an odd choice to make this movie and decide you're gonna call it the Super Mario Galaxy movie and have it not be about Mario, have him be incidental to the storyline, and have it be about Bowser. And I'm like, what the fuck am I watching? The turning of Stone Cold Steve Austin? Like, why am I watching the heel get all the big story points? Other than that, and I'll pitch it over to Robert. Because I am not a Nintendo fan, I did not have the reaction that a lot of the audience members did to when there were things like Star Fox showing up, who was also incidental to the plotline. They decided to throw this character in there. He flies around, crashes. There's no air in space, or there's air in space now apparently, and they,
the Mario universe it does not operate. Space is not a vacuum in the Mario universe.
Clearly, because the whole time I'm just like, where's the glass? Bring the glass. There's no glass. Why are they just traveling? Never mind. So I was struggling through this whole movie. So they bother to get Glen Powell to play this character, and I'm like, okay, maybe they'll do something fun and interesting with Star Fox. They don't. Even the stuff with, like, the Mario babies, I was like, maybe them being babies will have more impact on the plot line. It doesn't. it's a hero moment for Yoshi. Which again, if you want to watch Yoshi do Yoshi stuff, it worked just fine.
It's literally just we need to do a Yoshi's Island bit.
Yeah,
Literally.
but I think also hasn't there been a thing where they could turn Mario and Luigi into babies? So it was a thing they could show people on screen. Or am I imagining that? Like,
I don't know.
okay.
Probably at some point. I know the first time Baby Mario shows up, it's in Yoshi's Island.
Okay, well that's what. Okay, then you answered my question. The answer is yes. So like, it was as I'm talking, all I can hear is Jay from Red Letter Media. Don't ask questions, just consume more product.
Get excited for next product.
Surprised it wasn't a Disney movie.
So like, look, I said to Robert, and I'm gonna just skip to where we landed on this, so I don't have to go through the whole speech again. This was like somebody who accepts the fact that it's not that they're not going to get a gourmet cheeseburger, so they just ask for a McDonald's cheeseburger, and instead they're handed a bag of pot. You're still going to have a good time, though. This isn't a hamburger, not by any stretch of the imagination. With that said, I was dreading this review tonight because I was just like, I know Alexis and Zach are going to like glaze this movie, and I'm going to be with Robert on the dark side of the moon, and I'm glad it didn't go that way. But man, like between watching the movie and like gearing up for this review, that's why I came in like guns a-blazing. I'm like, ugh. Next week we're going to talk about In the Blink of an Eye, and I don't care how low of a rating it has on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm just like glad to talk about a movie made for adults because I can't handle this kind of movie right now. I just can't. Speaking of, I just can't handle it. Robert?
I want to talk. Let me get my movie stuff out of the way. Then I have to talk a little bit about the response to this because the sort of bifurcated dialogue around this is really bothering me, which is weird, but it is. So, as for this movie, this is not a movie. This is not an adult. This is three kids in a trench coat trying to get into the porn theater. This is like 18 90-second TikToks in a trench coat pretending to be a film. That's what we've got here. And the entire structure of the movie is, it's been 90 to 120 seconds. We need another dopamine hit or we're going to lose the young males. So over and over and over and over and over and over again. That's it. This is built for someone who's brain rotted through shorts, TikToks, all that stuff. Like your attention span has to be smaller than that of a goldfish to go through this movie and be thoroughly entertained throughout. Because that's the rapidity at which things are happening. There is no real plot. Things happen. That's not a plot. There is no character arc. There's a modicum of something for Bowser. That's it. It looks nice. But like, it's full of references, so if you get the references, you can have fun pointing at them. You can do the point at the screen bit. But like, it's not a movie. There's not a story. There's not a point of view. I don't need like Ulysses, okay? I don't need Shakespeare out of this. But the first movie at least had a story.
And the main character had an arc.
And this time around, there's none of that. There's so much that we appreciated about the first movie not trying to like go off the rails with things no one wanted or asked for, that unfortunately this movie decides, so you want us to stay on the rails, but what if instead of traveling at 40 miles an hour, we ramp this sucker all the way up to 88? Like, that's what we're doing here, and it loses all sense of, like, cohesion or interest or anything. It is the shallowest, hollowest, glitziest, pointless waste of time I've spent in a theater in a minute. It's not, again, this is not really a movie. To all the small children entertained by this, God bless. Ask for better. You don't deserve this. You could actually, with a little bit of effort, have turned the bones of this, into a genuine movie that doesn't actually stumble across into the pitfalls that we're all worried about. You still managed to hit a handful of pitfalls that you avoided in the first one. I pushed back on the notion that Peach was a girl boss in the first Mario Brothers movie because she's not. She is in this. Like, that's all she does is just hyper competence at everything the whole way through. We've now reached the point where the princess saving the princess who's in another castle is a trope that needs to be deconstructed by reconstructing the original. Like, the entirety of this is a mess. And it's just not a movie. It's, again, lights that happen on screen. Those aren't the same thing.
Oh no, Alexis is in another review.
She'll be back in a minute, I assume.
She's in Deadpool and Wolverine thinking about grander times.
So, with that being said, let me say the following in moderate defense of this movie, to the extent that I'm going to defend it. The intended audience of 5 to 8-year-olds seems to think this is great. And if they do, I expect you to raise better children. But we live in the world we live in, so we are where we are. And just very briefly about the discourse around this movie, because after seeing this, anyone with a functioning frontal cortex, at least 80, you know what? I'll be generous. If you have a 70% functional brain, this movie doesn't work for you. Those of us who have partially functioning brains came out of this movie going, well, that's not very good. Here's the laundry list of reasons why. And the response from angry children on the internet and beleaguered parents who just want a break was largely, it kept my kids entertained. Please don't be like this. To which I say the following. Being for kids is not a catch-all as an excuse for making bad stuff. Bad product, bad art, bad whatever. Kids don't deserve bad stuff. They actually deserve the best.
Yeah, Sean used to say, there's a reason I didn't put that on screen. Sean used to say, just because it's for kids doesn't mean it has to be stupid.
Yes, which is very, very, very true. Again, I'm not looking for the depth of Cormac McCarthy or something out of this, but
hang on.
Something.
So, hang on. I'm gonna back up your point, but in a different way that sounds a little less like, you're doing the bit from Midnight Mass. Ronnie's comment about, it's about this, this, and this, and this. What do you guys want? I could do that with The Secret of Nim. So there's this plantation of rats, you see, and mice. And they have a whole gothic thing going on and a religious thing. And, like you could take almost any cartoon. The Last Unicorn, The Secret of Nim, Land Before Time, and break it down to its least common denominator and go and see, like, isn't this
It's
dumb?
A bunch of talking mice that come from Russia to America. What do you want?
Yeah. You could do that with anything. You could also do that with like adult movies. If you want to break it down and be like, say like, oh, well, it's just this. What do you guys want? The thing of it is that a lot of the cartoons, the stuff meant for children, Disney, the Muppets, Looney Tunes, a lot of stuff that was written between 1980 and 2000, like the height of children's programming, had craft. There are very few things I can point to in the stuff that I grew up with without the benefit of nostalgia glasses, Chris Bailey and Pat, that I can say these were crafted well. Even a lot of like the Saturday morning cartoon things and the afternoon cartoon stuff that I was talking about He-Man earlier, are they perfect? No, but there was functionality and craft to them that is largely absent now. Are there things out there? Sure. It's not coming from the big players is the problem. And the thing of it is why do I keep doing this podcast other than I enjoy talking to Robert? It's mostly because I don't want to lose the bit of, for whatever our audience is, small as it might be, I don't want to lose the sense that there used to be good film craft out there and it needs to be talked about, or we're going to freaking forget it. We're going to forget how movies used to be made because and I was telling Robert this, I'm not against the idea of making a product for the people that are going to buy that product and those people have no discernible taste. Fine. Make widgets for the morons. But let's not also forget how to make things good for the small group of people out there that still like good stuff. And that goes for children's fare as well. I'll tag you back in, Marty.
Actually, the reason I wanted to post that comment was that, what was the line? It's, it's like, it's a movie based on brothers who are plumbers. It's like, what kind of story do you want? I literally read that and I thought, wasn't that the same argument when the 93 Mario Brothers movie came out?
Oh, I love that movie, even though it's garbage.
See, hang on. That's the distinction. Bless you, Zach, for understanding this. We lost the ability to just say, this is bad, but I like it, because we can't handle the cognitive dissonance of our personal taste not trending towards the highest thing, because that would then be an assault on the self, because the self is the highest thing, right? You bunch of narcissistic, pathological jackasses. And this has filtered down, and we've now just unfortunately arrived at this spot where I liked it, therefore it's good, is an argument. And it's not. You liked it. That's not nothing, but that's not the argument being made. I'm not arguing that you shouldn't like the movie. I'm arguing it's a bad movie.
So here's where I'm actually going to pick up for Alexis, and with this comment, even DreamWorks and Sony Pictures Animation have moved past the uncanny stage. Sony's quietly making solid pictures. DreamWorks is solidly making solid pictures. The Critical Drinker did a pretty decent video of this where he basically landed where we are, which is like, this is crap, but it's crap for brain rotted children. So what am I supposed to do about this? However, if you're looking for well-crafted animation out there for children, there's Puss in Boots too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's which is DreamWorks. There's
K-pop Demon Hunters.
Damn it! Yeah, I was getting there. There's Alexis. I was about to say there's Alexis's favorite movie from last year, K-pop Demon Hunters. Yeah, Hoppers was good. Like when we talked about Hoppers, like Soul shouldn't be a distant memory. Like Soul was only a few years ago.
Yeah.
It goes back to that speech by Guillermo del Toro when he won the Oscar for Best Animated Feature. He talked about how animation is not just for kids; it is a genre. It is an art.
Yeah,
it needs to
you
be
guys
cherished.
you guys all went crazy for his Pinocchio movie, which was this.
Sorry.
My point is, the guy in the chat here, RetroCat, he was talking about Illumination.
My boy.
Illumination's about 50-50. Like, sometimes they nail it. There's a couple of the Despicable Me movies and the Minions movies, believe it or not. Like, I actually said that to Jonas the other day. It was like, because he was saying how he thinks everything coming out of Illumination is made for babies, which was my exact word about this movie. It was like, this was made for infants. And my son was like, oh, father,
Dude, you're right.
But and then he starts like saying, but isn't everything out of Illumination made for babies? And I said, the Minions wasn't. Robert and I still, it's one of my, I'm not going to turn it into a song, I think, but I do think, yes, we'll see if I get bored in a little while.
So,
But
there was also Migration.
Hang on. Let's stay on the one point.
Sorry.
When Robert and I talked about Minions, believe it or not, for people listening to this podcast, like, is he really naming Minions as not for babies? Yeah, go listen to that podcast. Not that long ago. Robert and I talked about that engendered an entire discussion about faith, the meaning of life, the purpose-driven life, and you're like, from the Minions? Yes, watch the fucking movie without looking at your phone. Go ahead, Robert.
Yeah, you mentioned the first Despicable Me movie is actually very much in this same vein.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a real story. You may, somewhere in your mind, you may only remember the antics of the Minions. Go rewatch the first Despicable Me.
Mm-hmm.
There's character for multiple characters. There's arcs. There's catharsis. There's emotional beats. There's that's actually what you should be aiming at. And unfortunately, all of this is being degraded. It's meant for kids is not a shield. Kids, for some reason, we have to have this discussion too.
Can I jump in for a second?
Sure. Hang on, let Robert finish.
Okay.
Literally mid-sentence, then jump in, Zach.
Okay.
For kids, for some reason, we've defined children as anything under the age of 18 when we talk about this. Allow me to express to you, and Mark can back me up on this, the developmental phases of the human being are not limited to an arbitrary number defined for legal purposes. For children, somehow got turned into, well, this is what I want to show the infant as they're on the toy blanket. And then everything else is not that. This is stupid. The death of individualized culture at age groups along the path to full maturation is ridiculous. Because you don't show an 8-year-old the same stuff you show a 12-year-old necessarily. You certainly don't show a 5-year-old what you show a 13-year-old.
You also don't show your 12-year-old Bad Lieutenant. Oh, wait.
I wasn't going to bring that up.
No, but I know how much you hate that I did that, and I like tweaking your nipples. I'm going to let Zach jump in so that he doesn't forget his point.
Yeah, thank you. What I was going to say, it's banking off of Robert's, but what I was going to say was a lot of people don't forget that there's a song about this, but the children are our future. But what I really
stop them now.
Yeah, but anyway, what I was trying to say is, like, you know, they're going to be influenced by what they see now. You know, I mean, I like a lot of stuff from, like, I was born in the 90s, best decade ever. But the thing is, it was like I still watched. Yeah, I said what I said. I don't regret. But the thing is, I watched stuff from like the 30s and 40s and all that stuff, you know. And the thing is, like, right now, the 2020s, if we're just making garbage, and pardon me for this being crude, but this movie was Mamma Mia diarrhea. That took me a long time to think of, but my point remains. My point is, I mean, we want to influence the next generation of filmmakers, which are at this time kids right now. If we're going to give them brain rot and garbage like this, you know, they're not going to want to make movies, or they're going to make movies like this, probably.
Let me say this, and I'm going to pitch it to Alexis for the last word, because she was trying to say something about migration before.
Okay.
Had this movie been good, the audience wouldn't have been any different. Like, and that is both the point and the problem. Is
that really is. You lose nothing by making this better.
Right. The audience comes home to my daughter, when she saw Daisy in the post-credit scene, punched the monkey. Shock the monkey. Sweet. She did an Alexis. She was like, wee! You know, and she took her top off and she threw it. It was the whole thing. And it was like, okay. Even if you rewrite this and, you know, give Mario and Luigi something to do in an arc, give Peach an arc, don't make Bowser your fucking central character for some stupid reason, and slow this movie down a little bit, the audience still goes home happy. Everyone's still like, look, I saw all the shit that I like. Yay! I'm not going to play the Seal thing again, but that's, you know, that's exactly what you would have gotten. So the argument of, well, we had to, you know, we had to give the audience what they wanted, and what they wanted is shit, so we're only going to give them shit. Like, yeah, but they'd have reacted the same if you gave them something good too, and then you wouldn't have shit here. But that's also the problem. Is if I'm an executive and at this point everything is so data driven that there isn't a lot of
everything's a line item for the next quarter.
Right. So there's no motivation, there's no incentive to make this critically appealing, because you're going to get the same response no matter what. And the way they did this movie is safer. It is safer to put out this kind of movie because you know the response you're going to get. It's practically Pavlovian once again, versus take a chance on like a Hoppers or something where you don't know how the audience is necessarily going to react. Well, I'll give you the last word here, Alexis. You were saying like Migration, I think, was also a good movie.
Well, I was talking about other films from Illumination that I think, you know, were just brain rot. Mm-hmm. But I did kind of realize something else that has led to this movie being a bit more of a disappointment. And it goes back to the first movie. Again, we had our predictions on what we thought was going to come next. And we talked about, well, maybe we'll get a Donkey Kong spinoff or a Luigi's Mansion spinoff. I distinctly remember Dorian bringing that up because King Boo is in the audience for Bowser and Peach's wedding. And nothing like that happened. We did get the new Donkey Kong video game for the Switch 2, which I still can't afford. But that was it. And it kind of feels, seeing all of these new characters, there is a disappointment because you sit back and it's like when you see the new characters in the first wave of Marvel movies. Remember how excited back when the first Thor came out and we saw Hawkeye? And just it's like, oh my God, it's Hawkeye and he's going to be in the Avengers. You know, we got excited for that. And I think that's what a lot of people were expecting with the first movie. But now that they've added all these characters, it doesn't feel like they're going to do anything with them. We keep hearing like they're doing a Smash Brothers movie, but we have seen no inkling whatsoever that we're going to get any of that, any spin-offs, any new adventures, any, I don't know, TV shows on Paramount or something. And that, I think that's
This
part
is
of
a
the
bit like they went from, hey, we made a Mario Brothers movie. Hey, we made a Superman movie. Well, what's next? Well, the Justice League. Let's throw everything in there possible right away instead of actually developing or taking time.
They actually did that. It was called Space Jam 2.
But I think
I have
that's-
never wished physical pain on you, Mark. I want you to understand
Yes,
this.
you have. You
No,
liar.
no.
You dirty liar.
No. Like that Space Jam 2. I really hope you like stub your toe very badly tonight.
Every time I go into the bedroom and I have to turn down the room because my girlfriend likes to have every light plus the moon going. She's one of them gals. You know what you like. You know what you like, you girls. You like every fucking light on. There's candles on. There's a spotlight. There's a guy bringing in planes. Like, why can't we have darkness? You're trying to think. Anyway, my psychotic episode aside, I have to go and turn the room down when I go into the room, and every fucking time bang my shin right into the bed. So you'll get your wish. 50% chance. Alexis, you were saying.
I guess I just feel a little disappointed that we have not gotten more from this. Because again, the first Mario movie I really enjoyed. It made serious bank. It had crazy followers. A lot of people loved it. And I kind of wish we were getting more out of this universe. It's like you guys have all the rights to all this intellectual property. You have endless amounts of opportunities again for more movies, spin-offs, for TV shows, for anything. And it feels a little disappointing, you know.
Somehow you're still behind Sonic in every conceivable capacity.
You know, on Thursday,
He's pretty fast.
On Thursday, Robert and I are going to talk Bulworth, which was directed by Warren Beatty, starring Warren Beatty and a very young Halle Berry. It's one of my favorite movies. As uncomfortable it can be at times because Warren Beatty rapping is oof.
I did not know that was a scene I was in store for, so thank you for that.
More than one. So I'm excited to talk about this, Robert. The most exciting thing about Bulworth is it doesn't spawn a fucking cinematic universe or a sequel. But this is the last thing I'm going to talk about because with this guy, RetroCat here, he's been in the chat. He hasn't said hello, send me money. He is my ass. He's been a very nice person.
Zach, I'm assuming this is a friend of yours because I saw them mention Dinkelberg.
Yeah, he's my broshi.
Okay, cool. So
yeah, he's
one of Zach's
friend.
People. I was trying to come up with a better word than friend.
Retinue.
Not so easy making puns, is it?
Is it for you, McNulty? So anyway,
I'm not McNulty anymore.
So Zach's secret lover, RetroCat, he said something here that I actually think is worth talking about. He's had a lot of good comments on it, but this one in particular I like. The gaming fandoms are a completely different beast from the film and animation communities. It's not something I thought about, but that's actually a really good idea. You know, Robert and I think, are both looking at this movie and thinking about film audiences. I didn't think about the video game audience. And I didn't think about the video game audience because I often forget that people who play video games don't always watch movies and vice versa. Like, I'm not really a game person, but it is interesting, and I'll let you guys each comment on this before we move on, about how if you're not really a movie person, movie is either something you do exceptionally passively, if at all, but you are a hardcore gaming person, your need for what a movie is might be, from a psychological standpoint, radically different. Robert, you want to take a shot at this?
It's a little bit different. In this instance, it's a lot of like, again, hey, remember that thing? Look at that thing you know. Part of the reason that you get that Pavlovian response from gamers in particular is they have been so abused by the adaptation process over the years. Zach mentioned the first Super Mario Brothers movie, which normally we don't talk about. God bless Bob Hoskins, but
this movie referenced it for like 1 second before moving on to like 5 different scenes.
It's like rest in peace, Bob Hoskins and Dennis Hopper. You You did not deserve to have to go through that.
I wish I could put John Leguizamo through it again.
I'll never forgive you for Pest.
There's a lot of things I won't forgive him for, but there's that. There's the entirely too many Resident Evil movies. There's a new the Resident Evil show on Netflix. There's a new Resident Evil movie.
I'm starting to hate. I'm really starting to hate that IP because they can't get away from it.
Well, because this one's being directed by Zach Kreger, and he talked about but some of the stuff he said about it was like, yeah, here's the direction we kind of want to take, and the response has universally been, how is it this hard to make a movie about special forces agents trapped in a mansion surrounded by zombies? Like, how is this hard? Street Fighter movies, some of which, well, the less said the better.
Again, Raul Julia, you did not deserve that.
No. I'm happy to talk about that one. You know which one I'm talking about.
Yes.
The Mortal Kombat, Annihilation in particular, I will defend the first one. Annihilation, we don't speak of.
Still looking forward to the new one.
You're welcome to that.
I like Carl Urban, okay?
You're welcome to it. Again, over and over, video game adaptations have been, as a long-running joke, terrible. Absolutely terrible. So when you get something like this that's just reference the movie, but is done in a non-condescending way, everybody throws their pants at the screen and turns into howler monkeys. And it's an overcorrection from an abused fan base, is largely how that goes.
Zach, your final thoughts on this last topic that we brought up, the difference, if there is one, and there apparently is, between the strict video gaming audience and a movie-going audience. Your thoughts?
I mean, it's two different mediums. I mean, the thing is, it would, at least in the first film, it seemed like, okay, this is a movie. If they have a giant star that can blow up the world or whatever it was in the first movie, they said, like, oh, it's all powerful. There, easy. Power-ups. You punch them, you get power-ups. There. That was a good transition from video game adaptation to movie adaptation. This movie takes all that and throws it out the window because it just doesn't care. It just, all, like Robert said, it's referenced the movie, rated R.
Hang on. There was a point where Bowser Jr. said two different things about the canon, and my adult brain went, wait, no. Because at one point he's like, I have this cannon, it'll blow up the universe. And I went, then you'll die. And what would be the point? And then later on in the movie, the cannon does something else. It doesn't quite blow up the universe, but
it blows up planets. It's the Death Star.
Yeah.
In Mario Galaxy, a universe is basically not like the whole universe. A universe is essentially a very small galaxy. It calls back to that line in the first movie when Peach says there's a whole lot of universes out there. Universe in the Mario universe is a very small individual thing. There's a lot of universes.
You know what that
week from Thursday, I'm making Sean watch 3 French sexual assault movies. I will enjoy them more than what you just said there.
Also,
come on, that's a bit much.
Like not Alexis personally, just like the fucking explanation of different universes in the Mario thing. Like, really? All right.
You guys notice that Toad was missing from like the last third of the movie?
Like they forgot to animate him.
They forgot to put him in. It's like, what happened to Toad?
He stays on the ship with Fox.
I must have blinked for 1 second.
It's too bad because Keegan-Michael Key doing Toad is actually one of the better voice actors on the series.
So any other further thoughts, Alexis, or should we move on to the money?
Just the fact that I also feel like this movie missed the idea. I argued about not the moral, but kind of the lesson in the first movie. The idea, it's like, you don't know when to quit. Well, that calls out to the gamer community. I don't think we got anything like that in this one.
Okay.
Or did we?
There's no like fun camera winks in this movie.
Strong ending. All right, folks. With that said,
as strong as the movies.
Here comes the money.
We're in the money. We're in the money.
I don't want to go in the corner. Do we have to go in the corner?
I would say, aren't you used to having those comments cut your face in half by now? I mean,
It's so tight.
This has become a busier show in the last year or two, and like the more like StreamYard just keeps adding stuff. All right. You taking a shit? What are you doing over there?
I'm trying. You place me in a glass box. I'm a mime that is somehow talking.
Mimes don't make sound, sir.
It's
However,
a glass tube of emotion.
However, now I'm missing that kind of French music that goes with being a mime. All right, on a budget of 110 million, this thing made 373 million in its opening weekend. Blah blah blah. Yeah,
Enormous success, set records. We all know the drill.
that movie is in development.
Well, the movie is because it's for kids, and kids are because the kids seeing the movie are 6, 7 years old, so they have.
No one does that anymore. Please let it die.
I work at an elementary school. I hear it like 50 times a day.
Wow, they're way behind because my son, who is a genius and perfect in every way, says that no one does 6, 7 anymore.
But
it died with the 12-year-olds.
I had an 8-year-old do that to my mother when she found out she was 67 on Easter weekend.
As of April 5th, 2026, the Super Mario Galaxy movie has grossed 191 million in the US and Canada and 182 million in other territories for a worldwide total of 373. Produced on a budget of 110 million, the film is currently the third highest grossing film in 2026 and the highest grossing animated film of the year, tallest midget. The film also set the record for the biggest global opening at a box office in 2026. Could you throw more qualifiers in this?
It's been a weak year.
Yeah. The only animated film franchise with 2 films opening to over 350 million globally, the fifth biggest global opening for an animated film of all time, the second biggest global opening for an Illumination film, the second biggest opening for a film based on a video game, and the fourth biggest Easter 3-day opening of all time, and last of the red hot tabletop clockers. Before its release, the Super Mario Galaxy movie was projected to top its predecessor's opening weekend. The film made 34 million on its first day, outperforming its predecessor's 31.7, and earned total of 122.1 million worldwide over its first 2 days of release. Its 3-day opening of 130.9 million made the film the fourth biggest Easter 3-day opening of all time, behind the Super Mario Brothers movie at 146, Furious 7 at 147, and Batman v Superman: Dawn of Blah at 166 million. Following this, its domestic opening projections were raised to 190 million, while its worldwide opening raised to 372.5. The film ended up having a debut of 190 million, becoming the fourth biggest 5-day opening in the region, behind Moana 2, the Super Mario Brothers movie, and Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen. Who doggy? In its opening weekend from
Hey, but Mark, the kids liked the Transformers movies. Things went boom. How dare you criticize them?
Its opening weekend from 80 markets, the film grossed 182.4 million for a global debut of 372.6. Alrighty. It was, of course, the number 1 movie of the weekend. There was
easily called. We all knew it would be.
No shock there. Project Hail Mary dropped from 1 to 2. The drama. Why would you open the drama against this? Like, can we just talk about that for a second? Like,
you drop the kids off at one movie, you go see the other.
Nobody's doing that. The parents,
I'm aware, but that's the
movie
logic.
made so much money.
You're assuming modern parents want to go see something like the drama. They just as brain rotted as their idiot children. Like they're all
fair point.
They're all going to the fucking Super Mario Brothers movie. Like A24, generally speaking, good studio, good marketing. But I mean, like, why open the drama against this? There was so many other weekends we could have.
Because Zendaya sucks, and this gives her plausible deniability for a bad opening.
Good God. Anywho, Hoppers fell from 2 to 4. Reminders of him dropped from. I just listened to that again, Robert. Our him review. 4 to 5.
Why?
8. Because I play our podcast on TikTok now, so I don't have to be on camera. A Great Awakening debuted at number 6. They Will Kill You dropped from 3 to 7. Ready or Not? Yeah.
Movie title sounds scary.
Ready or Not 2, Here I Come, 6 to 8. God Bless You, The Revenge dropped from 5 to 9. And Undertone, 9 to 10. Bono Loda Express debuted at 16. The Stranger, 24. The Blue Trail, 33. Living the Land, 39. And that was the weekend that was, says Henry Kissinger. Yes, Pegasus 3 is still number 1. Project Hail Mary is still number 2 with 421. Super Mario is
Galaxy is going to surpass Project Hail Mary next week.
Yeah, out of this world.
372. Hoppers is number 4 with 332. Withering Vaginas is at number 5 with 239. Scream 7 is 209. Blades of the Guardians 203. Scare Out is at 186. Goat is at 185. And
Never heard of it.
Yeah, and Duran Duran The Revenge is at 150.
Of all the ways you could have gone, I did not expect a shepherding joke. Well done.
Thank you.
Robert, what did we do last week? All the movies that are doing better or worse than
We're making fun of everything worse than The Iron Lung because a self-financed, self-directed, self-produced YouTube movie.
There it is, 19.
Here are the movies doing worse than Iron Lung but better than The Bride. Shelter, Marsupilami, Return to Silent Hill, Greenland 2, Primate.
Wait, hold on. Is that like you know, Alex? Is that related to like the cartoon from Disney Channel?
I think it may be like a foreign release, you know, kind of like what they did with the Woody Woodpecker movie that got made and was like distributed in Brazil and never really saw any daylight here until it was available on streaming. But I'll take a look.
Cool, thanks. Yeah, that'll be a fun review.
Torrente for President, The Drama, Solo Mio, Until We Meet Again, Stray Kids, and then finally The Bride. So, yeah. They Will Kill You at number 42 with 15 million.
That is $14,999,999 it didn't deserve.
Hey, remember when the Strangers movies were supposed to like earn a lot of money and there were going to be a bunch of them? Strangers Chapter 3 currently at less than 10 million.
What a wild misread about a niche horror product that had one very successful, very good, admittedly, movie, but The Strangers and stuff in that ilk. Strangers, The First Purge, Them, Hush. I'm gonna go on. They're mean. They are mean movies. Mean-spirited. They do terrible, funny games. Terrible, terrible things do they do
Psycho
to the
Killer.
people that you like in them.
Psycho Killer is less than 3 million at 113. Go ahead, Alexis.
And answer your question, Zach. Okay? So I didn't actually know this, but the we're talking about the Marsupilami cartoon character that we used to see on the Disney Afternoon. That was based on a French comic. It has its roots with the Smurfs. So this is a basis off of that, but it's a French movie. Apparently, there's been quite a few French films about the Marsupilami that have never seen the light of day here in the States, but they have no real tie-in to the Disney cartoon. It's based off of just the comic.
Is it like a cartoon or is it like a real movie?
It's a live action movie with a very disturbing looking CGI Marsupilami.
So next week is You, Me, and Tuscany, and I'm not going to put Robert through that. So instead, we're going to do In the Blink of an Eye. Which
Mark, you're not only not putting me through it, you're not putting you through the review or our audience through listening to it.
Anyway, You, Me, and I hear that commercial every time I listen to a podcast on Spreaker. Oh, you know, because it plays 30 seconds of our podcast now and then a 20-minute commercial. I have now heard the You, Me, and Tuscany one like 87 times. But that's the big movie of next weekend. So Mario Brothers will have another full weekend to itself. I added Beast to the schedule. Some stuff got moved around. So I filled in Beast, but like later on this year when it, you know, because it's a Lionsgate plus one championship movie. So Robert, I added that to the schedule as a Daniel Hollywood when it goes on PVOD.
You don't like me, and it's okay.
You know, I did that because I thought you would be at least quasi-interested. Nothing I do makes you happy. You're like my third wife.
You don't have a third wife.
You might as well be. So anyway, so that's that. The week of...
They just can't... It's more like they just can't make good MMA movies, and I don't know why, but they can't.
The week of the 17th, the big one is Lee Cronin's The Mummy. And there's really nothing else that weekend. We will not be... Alexis, feel free to do that one with Robert if you want. There's no way in fucking God's green earth I'm going to do it. But that Monday was supposed to be 4 Kids Walk Into a Bank. That got moved to August. So Robert and I will be recapping WrestleMania weekend. Robert is threatening me with his usual sour attitude. So, you know, I'm I'm going to drink heavily.
Pat
on that podcast,
McAfee showed up and was the mystery man talking to Randy Orton.
I heard. But yeah, I
Tell
last
me
week
about my
said
sour attitude.
I said to Robert last week on last week's show that I saw the trailer for Lee Cronin's The Mummy and I said this looks gross, and he called me a pansy, and I'm like, well, this is why I'm not doing that movie. The week after that,
We're gonna have to like slowly eat. It can't be worse than The Substance for body horror, and you sat through that just fine.
the weekend after that is the Michael Jackson biopic, also by Lionsgate. Not a whole lot else coming out that weekend. We will not be doing Michael on Damn You Hollywood. I am saving that for beautiful Shay Tate, wonderful Shay Tate, just the most adorable little thing you've ever seen in the world, Shay Tate.
She wasn't even born when Michael Jackson was a big deal. Come on,
It counts as a musical. I'm also going to talk about. I think I'm making her do Bohemian Rhapsody and something. Oh, maybe The Doors. I have to look and see which triple feature I put together. But I specifically built a triple feature around Michael for Shay. So there. But we said we're going to do Apex. So that's April, which I read all of that to show you that Mario Brothers has a clean fucking runway, man. Like it will it make $1 billion? I think it's a question worth asking.
I'm gonna say at this point, I'm gonna say probably.
Probably
say it will.
Here's what I'm going to tell you. One, Robert, off the top of your head, does every movie that does 370-ish in its opening weekend get to $1 billion?
Not everyone, but I think it's a strong indicator.
So it'll get close, but like I feel like Minecraft did about the same and didn't quite make $1 billion.
I will better be able to answer that question next week. If this thing has the same percent drop that Project Hail Mary did, only about a 30% drop, yes, it will.
I'm not going to beat the drum and be like, there's no fucking way it makes $1 billion. Here's what I'll tell you. What I've noticed over the last couple of years of doing this show is as every sequel is diminishing returns. The third
actually building these days has been very, very difficult for a lot of franchises lately.
Couple of examples off the top of my head: Wicked and Avatar. So they had sequels within a year or two of the previous movie coming out. So I'm not counting Way of the Water. I'm saying we're starting with Way of the Water. Ash and Grind didn't make more than the previous movie.
I don't think that one made $2 billion, if memory serves, but I'd have to double check.
It made it. Yeah, Way of the Water did make $2 billion. It made less.
But also, this movie's gonna be on streaming in a week.
Not necessarily. So the streaming window thing is now mostly based on performance and whatever deals they have intact. So like when the Odyssey comes out, Big Money Chris Nolan negotiated a deal where his stuff can't go on streaming for like 6 months. So some movies, they hold on to them longer in theaters if it's doing well. The average one will go on PVOD in about 45 days, but it's entirely based on performance. And if the thing doesn't have legs, then yeah, sure. If it does have legs, they'll hang on to it for a little bit longer. Or if there's a deal in place that predates the window, it'll stay for whatever the contract says it does. All of that to say, I'm not feeling a strong billion on this. Last year, I think the only there was like 2 movies that made $1 billion. It was Lilo and Stitch and Avatar.
That sounds about right.
So a lot of shit's not getting there. We've done a lot of healing since 2019. We're not all the way healed yet, and there's less and less people per capita going to the movies than there ever has been in the past decade. Alexis, you've been looking off screen. Are you looking at a book, or are you looking at research, or are you getting your thoughts together?
I'm petting the dog.
A little bit of column B, a little bit of column C.
So what are your thoughts?
Well, yeah, I was double checking. It doesn't really look like there's any major family films coming out for a while, and that is the only thing that Super Mario Galaxy has to worry about.
Toy Story 5 in June.
Yeah,
I would say that is going to be the big dethroner for this. I don't see it staying in number 1 until then, but this thing is not slowing down. This is why GOAT stayed up for as long as it did. Movie theaters need a family film to take the kids.
You can't take them to go see Wuthering Heights?
I mean, you could, but
My favorite comment from that is still from Jeremy Johns. He talked about the scene when Jacob Elordi uses like 2 fingers to pull up Margot Robbie by her corset just to lift. He lifts her up with her corset to kiss her, and he says, "I think my theater needed a dehumidifier at that moment."
I don't know. Tons of
Maybe.
that.
I can't decide which I want to watch first now: Wuthering Heights or The Bride.
You don't want to see The Bride.
no, he
as
does.
As I said to Robert, I have to, or I can't talk about it when we do our end of the year stuff.
Yeah, this is the thing. He's gonna hate it, but
Yeah.
he genuinely wants to see it.
Yeah, I want to see.
You want a leather belt to bite into?
Oh, I'll be fine.
He's got a pillow. He'll be fine.
I have my girlfriend's ass. I'll be fine. Hey now. I love the look of death in Robert's eyes. Listen, let me ask you guys a question about
No. That's me killing my retorts to that statement because I have them and I chose not to.
I appreciate you in more ways than you'll ever know. Listen, let's talk about Supergirl for a second. Drinker put out
Must
a
we?
video. There's the question that it was the title of his video is "This thing gonna flop?" She's in the what's her name? Millie Alcock is in the news because she said a reasonable thing, and of course, the pack of fucking wolves on the internet.
Well, hang on. There's 2 things that happened here.
Mm-hmm.
If you read her whole quote, it's not wholly unreasonable.
Mm-hmm.
Then the people publishing the quote chopped it up so it sounds like she's being inflammatory.
What did she
And then-
say? I clearly missed this.
You want to handle that, Mark?
In short, it was something along the lines of there's a lot of presumed possession of women's bodies in the comic book space, and that's just something I have to accept. And that was more or less the quote. It was a resignation of whatever this movie is, whatever I am in this movie, people are going to have their opinions of it. It maybe end up being negative. What am I supposed to do about it? That was more or less what she was saying.
Like, again, if you actually read her quote and understand the tone of what's going on, it's a nothing sentiment. It really is. But because the entertainment media complex has to spin up headlines that generate outrage, they made it sound like she's saying, "How dare people have opinions about my body, especially if you're a man and I'm in a movie."
Here's the thing.
Which is the outrage complex picked up and did exactly what they were supposed to do with
If
it.
they
because
had been
that's how the
anyway
economics
intellectually
work.
honest, they could have researched that themselves. They don't bother because it's much easier to just take it at face value. And it's like, where do you want to put the blame on this? And it's not a fight I feel like having.
I would say she's not wrong. Need I remind you how many Bleeding Edge podcasts I had to listen to comments about Brie Larson's non-existent ass?
Yeah, she's felt like the number one is the funniest thing Jeff ever said.
So, if I may
It was
address that
funny
very
the first time. The next 20 times
Yeah.
it got old.
Look, just real quick on this. Anyone in a movie, the audience is going to have comments on how you look in the movie. This is the reality of it. If you're being a pain in the butt, then maybe the director of photography and the director and the cinematographer don't tell you that, boy, you look like you have a double chin when you turn that way. Maybe we work on this. In no small part because the same week there was some actress who said, "Boy, the worst note I ever got from a director was one of them telling me that to suck in my stomach for this like 5-second shot." And I was so offended that my bodily autonomy was like, shut up.
They should work with God. I fucking hate these people. Go back in time and work with Alfred Hitchcock, and then you'll know what abuse is like.
I would say, remember that scene in Pam and Tommy, Mark, when they were adjusting the wedgie on Pamela Anderson because they had to like have the legal amount of skin. So you literally have 5 minutes of these guys saying, "No, tuck in her bikini in her ass. No, pull the bikini out."
I got an
a
even
little
better
more."
one for you. This was a scene in The People versus Larry Flint where they're taking a picture of the woman's vagina and he was just like, "Oh, not that far, girl," and fucking Larry Flint, who's played by Woody Harrelson, just like, "No, that far, in fact, further," and like shoves her legs apart and shoves the camera in there, and everyone's like, "Oh, heavens to Betsy." I wanted to talk not necessarily about the stupid quote because it is what it is, and people's reaction to it is even worse. But there was a question asked that because now there was already are you making moonshine? What are you doing?
I'm eating a jar of pickles.
Oh my god! Ew! Oh,
Well, make sure you do it sexy on the podcast for me. Listen,
I had no part of the conversation. I just
sorry,
I didn't know
pickles
what
make
to
you're
do.
gonna very sexy eat pickles. I love it. It's the best thing you've ever done on a show. Listen to me. My problem here, and the thing I want to really quickly talk about is they're already like the wolves are already kind of shining the Rachel Zegler light on her. That's why I made the joke before about we let Brett
Brie.
thank you, Brie Larson in, and we're shoving Millie Alcock unnecessarily into actors jail. So now what's being said is like, oh no, the marketing for Supergirl is at risk here because this dumb broad made a dumb comment. Isn't she dumb? But one thing that came out of this, I don't know if you know this or not, Alexis, because sometimes you're up on these things and sometimes you're not. But apparently, Supergirl isn't testing well, and it's kind of going through the same rigmarole that Superman went through, where it was screen tested and screen tested and screen tested, and they can't figure out an ending, and they've lost a composer. This is all in the.
They're on their
Critical
third
video.
composer, by the way.
Yeah, they can't seem to figure this movie out to make people happy. And the last time that happened, there was a real problem. I mean, I know you liked Superman, and it ended up being a halfway decent product, but generally speaking, the movie should have been locked by now. Like, you lock a movie 3 to 6 months beforehand. If they're still fucking shooting this thing and editing it and trying to test screening it, it does make me wonder, like, how bad is this movie, which leads to the big headline question. Do we think Supergirl, based on what we know now, is going to do well, or is it going to flop? And I'll let you respond to that first, Alexis.
Well, the fact is that if it's following the same thing as Superman, and Superman was pretty decent, starts to make me wonder, should they really be listening to the fans complaining about superheroes like this anymore? We have seen so many superhero films. We keep hearing news about, okay, reshoots, and it just keeps getting chopped up, and then you get Brave New World. And
Marvels.
Marvels.
A brave new world.
Solo.
I'm starting to
Rogue One.
I'm starting to think nothing. Studios are relying way too much on audience reactions, and it has become abundantly clear that most audiences don't know what they like. I understand your basic critic screening, I get that, but I feel that studios are relying too heavily on these audiences, and they are too willing to go back to the drawing board and massacre what they have made.
Like, based on what you just said, I'm thinking of the
There's
Simpsons
also-
bit where like Krusty kicks in the door. Like, you people don't know what you want.
That wasn't Krusty, that was
The studio executive.
The guy,
Myers.
Myers.
Yeah, Myers Jr. He was the one. Yeah, he's the one who basically goes through the two-way mirror, and it's like, oh my god. Yeah, but you're exactly right.
Go ahead,
No,
Robert. Go ahead, Robert.
The part of the other problem there is it's not that the audience feedback is necessarily bad. First of all, giving feedback is an art form.
Mhm.
Like, knowing how to give good feedback is important instead of just saying I liked or I didn't like, which is what most people do when they do these things because they don't think about this stuff critically.
Sonic has 20 teeth.
There is a difference between being
Specific criticism and relevant criticism. Thank you, Zach.
Yeah,
Now-
but there's a difference between being constructive and being an asshole.
Well, yes, and then there's how do I interpret the feedback? There's a pretty famous anecdote in Disney that at a test screening for The Little Mermaid, a kid picked his nose during part of that world. And the thing taken away from the executives was to look at the director and go, you should cut that song.
Let me tell you, I'm going to let you keep going for a second, but let me tell you how discerning feedback is a lost art.
Yes.
I personally, and this is going to make me sound like a pretentious douchebag, but why stop now since I've already been called that on TikTok and I'm just leaning into the persona at this point. Yeah, I am a pretentious douchebag. But
You stand next to me and somehow people still think it's you.
Yeah, like I'm just seeing some of the shit I like, but whatever. So next week on Triple Feature, Irreversible.
Which is a really good movie.
I cannot wait for that podcast. Anyway, I get feedback from people all the time. I'm willing to elicit feedback from just about anybody. Feedback I take seriously and feedback I throw away is pretty much how I see that person. If it's a person I trust, if it's a person who I think has valuable insight, if it's a person who I think is like halfway even smart, I'm willing to take the constructive criticism. I'm willing to take the feedback. If I'm talking to a animated football of a person, I'm not taking that. I'm going to be polite about it because I'm not a fucking animal, but I'm not taking that criticism seriously. And I think to Alexis's point and what you were trying to say, Robert, that taking the entirety of a test audience who may be anything from a toaster oven to a halfway, smart human being, and thinking this is all valuable criticism is the last thing you want to do with a movie, and probably more than anything else, why they can't figure Supergirl out. Your thoughts, Robert?
Well, compound this with most test screenings are done with people predisposed to be favorable to what they're watching. Let's say it kindly.
That
there.
was the point Drinker made.
Well, it does mean that like you have to take test audiences scores with a little bit of a grain of salt, because again, anyone who's going to go through the effort to go to a test screening of a movie, frequently that isn't even scored or has a temporary score, like there's a lot of stuff that goes into that, and they're more inclined to be positive. Getting mixed reviews out of a positive leaning base is something that you might want to take seriously, but you have to again filter the feedback appropriately and then decide how many more tens of millions of dollars you're willing to sink into this on your sunk cost fallacy.
I want to go ahead. Sorry, I thought you were done.
So my thing personally about Supergirl, I don't have a lot of faith in it personally for a few reasons. One is the reception to James Gunn's Superman, which
to be clear, before anyone says another word on this panel, underperformed wildly.
So again, two things about it. One, yes, it underperformed. Two, I know people who really enjoyed that movie. I don't argue with them. I know people who really didn't like that movie. I don't argue with them either. I think there's perfectly valid reasons to have landed on either side of that thing. And
where was it on your list? Like 4 or 5?
Me, 3.
Yeah, 3, of course.
I didn't see it.
Perfect.
But that had a really unfortunate side effect that I don't think anyone intended, or even really not only intended but foresaw. You took an already iffy audience, and let's be clear again, the DC cinematic audience is a little bit iffy at this point. They're skittish for good reason. There's been a lot of crap. I'm not trying to blame the audience here, but what came out of Superman was a fractured audience that no one expected to fracture the way it did.
Yeah.
So now you've got a secondary character in a movie that is, in some very negative ways, perceptually negative, evoking pretty much every James Gunn movie.
So Jonas and I had this conversation because he was wondering like why he was too young. He might not have even been fucking born when he was definitely not born when Man of Steel came out. I don't remember what year Dawn of Justice was.
I think 2016.
It was whatever year. Oh gosh. I know the Avengers is what threw them for a loop, and they were like, fuck, we gotta fix Superman
16.
2. It was 16. Okay, so he's 3. So he's 3 when that movie comes out, and he's not really paying attention to a lot of the DC movies up until about when The Flash and Black Adam came out. Is when
he got in at the worst possible time.
He really did. So from his point of view, he doesn't understand why the DC cinematic universe never worked, but the Marvel cinematic universe did, so I had that conversation with him, and because we were comparing it to what James Gunn is doing with his handling of the DC cinematic universe, which there is, I think, a strong argument for why would your second major feature film in this universe be Supergirl of all characters? Which I think is a fair question. Don't get me wrong, I like Supergirl. I have a bunch of her books. I've read her comics. I've watched.
You argued with me endlessly about the CW TV show.
I still love the CW TV show. I will defend that.
As do I. And I adore the Tom King comic that this story is going to be based off of.
Yeah, Jesse and I are going to read that and review it when it gets closer to the movie.
Didn't you say I could come on that?
Let's see how I feel today. Yes, I said you could come on there. I believe you did ask. My point is, the Drinker made this point, and I think it's a good one, that you've already tried this once. You rushed it, bumblefucked it, and it failed miserably. And so here's your second shot at the same damn thing again. And your second major motion picture is not... I think Supergirl is like beloved by some comic book fans, but not all. And we're so far removed from when that character was beloved in any iteration that you're. This feels like a castle being built on a swamp. Your thoughts, Alexis?
Well, it doesn't help that, unfortunately, for a lot of people who are not avid comic book fans and didn't watch the CW Arrowverse, you say Supergirl, and it conjures up images of Helen Slater in one of the worst comic book movies of all time.
That is a great movie.
Not in the way you, Mark, you're not wrong, but it is not great in the way that anyone else would appreciate.
I love that Supergirl movie.
The stupid in that movie cannot be contained.
Peter Old. My favorite thing is when I showed it to it was my daughter at the time. I showed it to my daughter and she goes, "Why isn't she still wet? She should be wet. She just got out of the water."
Oh, yeah, that is part of the stupid of that scene. That whole scene is just like, what the hell is going on with this movie? No, Supergirl does have a lot to carry because of that. The character, again, was tied to one of the absolute worst comic book movies of all time. Really did not make a very big presence in comic books for a while because they killed her off in Crisis on Infinite Earths, and it was a while before they decided to bring her back. And then you have the way she's been portrayed in other media. While the Supergirl live-action Arrowverse TV show is really good, you also have to look at the way she was kind of portrayed in the Bruce Timmiverse, where she had the mini skirt and the crop top, and looked like one of the members of the fashion club from Daria. So, there is a gamble with her character.
To that point, like unfortunately, she only kind of came back into the public consciousness when the Timverse had the role that Supergirl normally fills, very well handled by its roster of characters. They did a slightly better job with her with the reboot of that with in the new style, because she's in like that. She's in like Apocalypse and a couple of other ones, and she's a perfectly serviceable character in those.
Right, so let's give the final word here to Zach, so we can move this on. Zach, I know you have a long, lengthy history. In-depth love of the Supergirl character, plus an insider's knowledge of movie and comic book industry. So, what are your thoughts on whether or not the Supergirl movie coming out this June is going to be any good? I'm waiting for you to wave around props at this point.
I don't have any props, despite being a massive fan.
It can't be worse than the comments with all those emojis that were just going over your face.
I got rid of him. Just ignore it.
Yeah, we gotta. I think it'll be okay. I'm honestly getting. Well, I've kind of had superhero fatigue for like 5 years now. It's just.
The rest of the world.
Correct answer to that is 7.
7. Yeah. No, the thing is, I don't care anymore. I'm sorry, guys. That's why I was really quiet. I really.
No, you're allowed to not care. This is a news item. Sometimes we do news in this segment. This thing is being talked about, so I figured I'd bring it to you guys. But almost any time I talk about stuff like this, there's at least one person. Normally it's Alexis. Who's just like, who fucking cares? Which she does right back to me after I've done it to her.
Well, again, to kind of close on this, I do think that part of what they're doing with this media cycle is what studios have been doing, and this goes for anything. But what is our shield? What is our excuse for when this fails? And in this case, we're going to try once again. Boy, the male fan base is just the worst, isn't it? And this is not a winning formula. It has not been a winning formula forever. Please stop. But this is their PR shield that they've chosen to try and hide behind again. And
I was going to say, get ready. Critical Drinker is going to come under fire when this thing comes out. It kills me because, again, the Supergirl movie, when it came out, is listed under one of the people talk about. It's like, well, that's why producers won't do a lot of female-led superheroes. And if you watch that movie, you go, female-led superheroes, nothing, no character, no male superhero could save that movie.
Yeah, it was just terrible.
Yeah, they don't say that sort of thing when like Superman 4 bombs.
Exactly. It's like, no, it can't.
I mean, in fairness, that did kill Superman as a cinematic property for
several years. Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
You know what? John Cryer was able to come back as Lex Luthor out of that trash heap, so good on him at least. He was a good Lex Luthor. I stand by it.
All right, and we finally get to the end of our show here. Here is the critical review.
Are you ready? No! I said, are you ready?
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
All right. Did we? I can't see the trash.
Yep.
heap. I'm putting that on screen. The trash heap has spoken. Yeah.
Thank you,
Perfect.
you princess.
Wonderful. All right. And this fucking score says it all, doesn't it?
Mhm.
42%.
I can't believe 42% of critics gave this a positive score.
Everything is 42.
Do you know
right.
that's the
I hate you
42%
for that.
like Zach and me grew up playing Nintendo games?
So this is all critics is at 42. Verified audiences is at 89. All audiences is 88. So negligible change.
Negligible.
The AI.
again-
So
the AI
audiences Nintendo do like this movie, and critics Nintendo don't like this movie.
And
Sega
the-
is suing for trademark infringement
And
on
the
that one,
AI
Zach.
writes, packed with colorful world building that's as frenetic and as weightless, the Super Mario Galaxy movie's visuals are often out of this world. Ugh. But the threadbare story ultimately loses its Milky Way.
Ha!
Oh
There you
God,
go.
I'm like way sexual, and that make me upset. Oy.
Oh
goodness.
my god.
Oh God.
I didn't even write that one.
I feel like
I
Robert.
I was
every
gonna
time
say Zach's puns aren't that bad.
I feel like Robert every time I make a joke. All right.
You're starting to empathize more and more with me over the years. It's a troubling sign for your development.
Yeah. No shit. The audience says, "Mamma mia!" Nintendo nostalgia hits again in the Super Mario Galaxy movie, delivering Easter eggs. I want an Easter egg. I want an Easter egg. I want an Easter egg. Joyful wonder and a spirited cast that makes this an instant replay. Dick.
There is no rewatchability to this thing.
I can watch it one time.
The only rewatchability are those who, God help them, are trying to count every single Easter egg.
All right,
Or
so this-
again, small children who will use it to fall asleep. Which, hey, that's valid.
All right, so this is one of Film Threat's friends. Alan, the Bowser Jr. relationship was funny, genuinely funny, and Yoshi was great to have fun to have around. But animation needs a story, and this one's storytelling needs serious work.
Yeah, Yoshi adds nothing to this movie.
But he is fun.
He adds nothing.
So is cocaine. Corey Coleman of Double Toasted. The filmmakers could have done more with the story if they really wanted to, and they didn't because they didn't have to. Hey, I said that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's largely correct.
Rick Romantito of the Taos News. The story is much more complicated as the running time. Come again. The story is much more complicated as the running time rolls on, which can be interesting to adults familiar with the characters, but confusing to youngins.
Youngins are the only ones who
my
like
man.
this.
No. What about this is complicated?
Marissa Hill, with great marketing here, it's nothing but cleavage. From Shade Studios, which I assume is a
And it
porn
works.
site. Go into this film like you're about to turn on your Nintendo 64 and play with your friends. There's no need to overthink things, just have fun.
This is a terrible review. Second of all, no, this is not Mario 64.
It's Mario 6-7.
Please stop.
No, Zach, go sit in the corner. You were
Fine.
in a timeout for that.
Linda and Al Lerner of Movies and Shakers. The action is pretty repetitive as the characters get into lots of colorful chaos. Some situations could be scary for little ones. Are
No.
you kidding me?
Unless you bring a literal infant to this.
What pussy pansy fucking kid would be too much for? Jesus.
I was gonna say, I'm sorry, are they that terrified of the dragon? Which, by the way, is a boss in Mario Odyssey. So
I
it's
didn't-
like, which is a game for all ages.
A
But this film-
4-year-old could handle this. If we're talking about it's scary. No.
It's 90 minutes of continuous action and bright hues, and parents will get a bit of a respite. Yeah, I
This
fucking
is
napped.
largely my argument. It's like, okay, this will give me 90 minutes to go drink a box of wine and pass out.
Child of the Ages, Jeffrey Harris, the former Manny.
Hey, Jeffrey Harris. Actually, take a look. Jeffrey Harris gave us a Facebook like. If you hover your mouse
I-
over the likes and views
I
that's there.
saw it. The Super Mario Galaxy movie provides quick and easy entertainment, and it's not that characters lack charm or emotional resonance. However,
They
the
do.
plot suffers from the sheer overabundance of characters and subplots which weigh it down.
Not wrong.
Yeah, not wrong. And Jeff's being very nice to this.
I'm sure he was a fan. The future Mrs. Zach Strobel, to tell your girlfriend I said that, Nell Minnow of Movie Mom. It is essentially an infomercial for games and merch, of course it is, but is good-hearted and colorful and has genuine affection for the fans.
I'm not sure it has genuine affection for the fans.
You know what? That's close
The
enough.
first one did. I'm not sure this one does.
Now, that's close enough to what I said. It's like if you're that diehard of a fan of the Mario world, you're gonna have some fun with this.
I know I married her to you a long time ago, and I want to keep with the joke, but I now Zach is here, and I kind of see Tanya Lamb of Lola Landchops with Zach being more of a thing. What do you think?
She's already my ex. I don't care what she does as long as it includes consuming feces and perishing.
Zach, can I set you up with Lola Landchops?
No, thank you.
The future ex Mrs. Zach Strobel of Tanya Lamb of Lola Landchops. The Super Mario Galaxy movie has a bit of everything except maybe a plot. Accurate.
There's a few other things it's lacking too, but
There's mushroom.
But she's not wrong.
it is definitely lacking plot.
I like how even the positive reviews are not really all that positive. Vinamaru Math are a first post. The best thing about the movie is that it is only 98 minutes long. It is charismatic and crisp, but to say that it is an absolute perfect outing will be a fallacy. There are moments when you see that the narrative is overstaying its welcome. What fucking narrative?
It's not a fallacy, you moron.
It's like, can we find some reviews that praise this thing as gold so we can laugh at their idiocy? Because right now, even the good reviews are agreeing with us.
I haven't seen more than a 3 in any of these, but Pablo O'Scholes of Clarin, as expected, the huge success of the Super Mario Brothers movies exactly 3 years ago was going to spawn a sequel, and here it is.
That's
Wonderful.
That is a
Fantastic.
terrible pull.
yeah,
for the record.
that is not his fault. That's the AI's fault.
Yeah, I'm not blaming him. That's about the worst thing you could have pulled to be your lead in for something like this. It's terrible.
Internet monster Doug Walker of Channel Awesome just meets the bar for being passively entertaining fluff.
That's pretty much what I called it.
I really miss when he actually cared.
Let's see. I'll do a few more of these and I'll set you free. Also I have to pee. That rhymed. David Polin of Hot Button, Substack. I think the filmmakers were intent, as many sequel directors are, on squeezing in everything they imagined, but couldn't include the first time. As a result, the film has too much action, not enough story or character. That's about right.
Agreed.
All right.
Again.
Zach, why don't you, and then Alexis, and then Robert, and I will back clean up. Tell us where you pissed from, sir. What are your plugs? Here.
Well,
Now we can see your pretty face. Fucking animals.
all right.
How dare in a visual medium he want his face to be clearly legible?
So this has actually been for a while. So Mario, even though it came out in the 80s, is kind of a modern-ish retelling of a fairy tale. A brave knight in the form of a plumber, who is a human, saves a beautiful princess, who's also a human, from a fire-breathing dragon. Not a human. But
We all play
What?
Ghosts and Goblins.
But what if it was reversed? You can read all about it in my new book, now available on Lulu and coming soon to Amazon in a few weeks, McLaurin. It is actually, this is my second book I've actually worked on with my good friend, Andrew Keiko. He's very, very talented. And if you notice, this looks like it was drawn by someone. Well, that's because it's people used to learn how to draw and didn't rely on AI. But with all seriousness, I'm actually really proud of this book. It took a really long time. I pushed myself really hard to make it. It is on. We really hope it goes well. Like our last book, Blob and Krillium. This one is on Amazon because it's been out for a year. But we really thank you for.
Right. I was like, that's the link you wanted, right?
Yeah, that is the link. It matches. But we worked really, really hard to make this book, and We really hope you like it, and I will, when I come back, probably in a future review, it'll be on Amazon. But if you go to Amazon, you can find all my other books that I'm totally not ignoring. But, this one is for kids between the ages of 5 and 13. But, you can read it with your kids. If you have kids, you can read it to them, or you can just read it yourself and have a good time. Oh, look, there's my other books. Other books on Amazon. We've got Quail Tales, Dinosaurs on the Moon, Blob and Krillium, which you just talked about, Friendship Sanctuary, which is a great book. It's like Looney Tunes meets Star Wars. Secular books involving Jewish holidays, Gefner and Friends, Hanukkah, and interactive Choose Your Own Rosh Hashanah book. Warren Lane is a comic book. Catastrophe, we can bypass that. That book stinks. I did it as a favor. Grandpa's Beagle, based on my dad. Deborah, the substitute teacher. That was a fun one.
Look at that name down there on that one. That's a familiar looking name.
I know that person. Very nice person, mind you. Helped the cover. There's Friendship Sanctuary again.
As a stampede of donkeys.
And the color version of Friendship Sanctuary. And that was a lot. But you can have fun. You don't have to read them all at once. But if you do, you'll be really cool. And those are my books.
Fantastic. Alexis, tell us about your jewelry making company and whatnot.
Well, might as well, because I
mean a drove of donkeys, Mark. A drove.
Thank you, Robert.
I'll say might as well, because this is actually going to be my last appearance on the Rattleton Broadcasting Network for a while. I legit don't have that many shows coming up right now. There's not a lot coming out on TV that we haven't already reviewed.
I thought you were quitting. I was like, is she really doing this on the air? Like, wow, fuck me. I'm sorry. Jesus, yeah.
Hey, you're mean to me, but you're not that mean to me. Don't worry. No, I was going through the other day. It's like I should probably update my calendar here. And I was like, wow, I have like nothing.
Yeah,
nothing coming up.
I know this is it for you for the month of April.
Then it's gonna be May.
Thank you, Zach.
Back in the corner.
Are you? Yeah, you're not doing any television shows until.
No, we've already finished most of the TV shows that we were going to do. We just did Night of the Seven Kingdoms, One Piece season 2. Thanks to David Wright.
Both good.
One. Yeah, both good. But I was saying thanks to David Wright on One Piece season 2, because I was like fried that night. I had just come from my mother's campaign launch party. I was just all over the place, and God bless him for being like the anchor that kept me grounded on that review, because I swear to God, if he wasn't, it would have been Thanksgiving part 2, because I was just going nuts.
You're not doing anything with Daredevil or
I actually haven't seen Daredevil, the first season of Born Again Daredevil. I am so behind on my Marvel. Mm-hmm. There's a couple that I want to get added. I wanted to talk to you actually. I got recommended the show Something Bad is Going to Happen, or something. I think that's what it's called. It's on Netflix. It's a supernatural. My cousin highly recommended.
Uno momento. I will find the specifics.
Thank you.
I'm going to be telling you that I'm trying to not. I'm committed to the Bear when that comes back. I will do the monster shows when they come back, because you enjoy them. But I'm trying to not take on anything new, and I'm really only trying to do this twice a week if at all possible. So just don't keep thinking of me when you think of TV.
Well, but yeah, there's just not a lot coming out, and you don't have me on a lot of Damn You Hollywoods because with Mortal Kombat 2 and coming out.
No, it's Something Very Bad is Going to Happen.
Thank you. And yeah, I lost my spot on Mortal Kombat 2, so I'm just, Mark, you always joke about how there's a month or two a year where you just work one. We all get worked to the bone, and that was me last fall doing, what was it, like 10 damn TV Party Tonights back to back with all of the Stranger Things recaps and every other show.
Well, real quick, so the Monday May shows look like this. We have a triple feature of The Bluff, War Machine, and Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. The following week is Mortal Kombat. The following week after that is Pretty Lethal, Mike and Nick and Alice, and Thrash. Robert, heads up on that one.
Just send me the invite. I will do what I can.
You're already there, pal. And then The Mandalorian and Grogu. Yeah, I think that's your next Damn You Hollywood.
Mm-hmm. No, that's probably fun.
That's May 25th.
Yeah.
And then yes, you're on The Boys.
Finally wrapping up.
I would say, do you two want to put in your votes for who's good?
I'm not participating in this, but they can if they want.
Robert,
I think he wins at this point. I'm willing to bet that Eric Kripke has just gone off the deep end enough to go, it's all terrible. Evil wins. Blah.
Jesse put in his vote. He thinks Ryan will be the one to take down Homelander.
I mean, logically, yes, but
Just saying, I thought it'd be fun if we all put our votes in before the finale.
the
happens,
answer's
see which one of
aliens.
us is
Aliens
right.
show up and they fix everything.
Okay.
But no, I'm not quitting. There's just not a lot going on right now. But, c'est la vie. I'm taking my time with the Honeysuckle Hustle, Honeysuckle Rose Creations, where fashion meets fandom at the intersection of geek and chic.
And it's sequel, the Honeysuckle Side Hustle.
Not a side hustle. It's my main hustle.
I know you're gonna have a side hustle though to support the main hustle in the near future.
Yeah,
I'm making a bad
Robert.
joke about the economy. That's all I'm doing.
Yes, Robert. We all have to work 3 jobs now because the economy is collapsing.
Yeah, tell me about it.
When the AI bubble burst, it's taken everything down with it. There's so much money tied up in that crap.
I swear to God, when they finally learn how to connect AI to 3D printers, I'm out of a job.
Don't give them ideas.
They already have them.
I actually saw something today about the real reason the economy is going to collapse is the Japanese are no longer buying U.S. Treasury bonds. So
No, that's not going to cause the economy to collapse. That's intergovernmental issues, which, don't get me wrong, are very, very real. But the major problems at the moment are that's a component of it. Like there's
the other thing I saw was
dear TikTok morons, the economy's complicated. There's a lot of things going on here that are influencing.
The other thing I saw, then I swear,
the new Supergirl movie.
And then I want to get out of. I'd like to finish, and then I can let Alexis do what she was doing. The other thing I saw was there's a movement to try to not have to buy oil in U.S. dollars. That's another thing that's being talked about. But hey, that'll be up next on the Whiskey Rebellion. Robert and I will enumerate all the ways the economy is going to collapse. Go ahead,
I'm
Alexis.
sure our listeners will love that. All right, but yes, Honeysuckle Rose Creations, where fashion meets fandom at the intersection of geek and chic. And guess what? If you are a Mario fan, even if you weren't a huge fan of this movie, but you are a fan of the Mario world, we've got fun Mario-themed items. We got our one-up earrings. We got hair barrettes with the mushroom power-ups. We got the basic power-ups charm bracelet. This is fun. It's the Mario Monopoly tokens with star power-up charms. And you know what? If you're not a big Mario fan, but maybe you're a fan of a certain other Nintendo property, we have got tons of Zelda items. We got our Twilight Mirror earrings. We got Navi earrings. We got the Sheikah Slate bracelet. We have our limited edition Korok charm bracelets. Does not come with Korok seeds. They don't jump out and shout, "You found me." I'm hanging out with the guy who
can do whatever you want in your own free time with it.
I have a friend who was currently playing. He just finished Breath of the Wild, currently playing through Tears of the Kingdom, and he has made it his life's mission to terrorize every Korok he comes across. He just learned how to attach one to a rocket.
Wasn't there a Black Mirror episode about this?
What, the Koroks or me?
Just keep going.
You should send this guy the link.
Okay.
You just gotta burst the damn bubble sack. All right, but yes, we like I was saying, we just wrapped up Planet Comic-Con this last week and had an absolute blast. I got to meet Tom Ruger. Besides Zach, anyone else here know who that is?
Is he the guy that invented the gun?
No, he's a voice actor of some
No,
kind.
he's not.
No, he's not.
No? Oh, who is he?
The creator of Animaniacs.
Oh, cool.
And he is awesome and very nice. And I
Did
had
you see the TikTok I sent you of President Trump doing all the nations of the world?
Yes, and I flipped you off for it.
Nice. Okay.
I haven't seen that. Send that to me, Mark.
Oh, will do.
But yes, even if you're not a big Nintendo player, we got tons of fun, geeky jewelry for so many different fandoms, and it's all upcycled from old game pieces: Monopoly, Clue, Scrabble, Operation, Dominoes, Dice, the list goes on. We have stores, as you can see here, on Etsy. We also have our store on Handmade at Amazon. And I am actually currently working because we have our consignment work in Des Moines and Oklahoma City, but we just inked a deal with 2 new stores, one here in Kansas City, specifically on the independent side, and one in Columbia, Missouri. They just put in a big wholesale order. So I have been working my brains out trying to get all that done. But if you're in those areas, go ahead and check it out. Again, that's Hexagon Alley in Columbia, Nocterra Bookery here in Independence. Again, you can find us on Etsy, Handmade at Amazon, and you can always follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky, screw you, Twitter, and TikTok. That's Honeysuckle Rose Creations, the intersection of geek and chic.
Yesterday was supposed to be a review of Happy Seasons 1 and 2, but Jesse's life got in the way, so that's rescheduled for a week from this Wednesday. This Thursday, I get to share with my friend Robert Winfrey, my best friend Robert Winfrey, good to his mother, Robert Winfrey, just slightly worse than Shay Tay, Robert Winfrey. And
That's your new unit of measurement is
yes.
How many shade dates are you?
Yes. And I'm going to be showing him one of my favorite movies of all time, a movie made for adults even, Bulworth. It is directed by Warren Beatty. It's a very prescient movie. I absolutely love it. And it's right up there with Bamboozled. It's something that I never thought to talk about on here because it's not connected to a comic book or some bullshit. But, you know, we're still having fun. 2 years ago, I declared this was going to be the year we had fun, and we're still having fun here on the Rattle Legend Broadcasting Network. Look at Alexis.
Contractually mandated fun.
Look at Alexis. Couldn't she be having more fun? Not even a little bit. She's looking
Mandatory fun.
She's about to explode from all the fun we're having. So, having said that, I wanted to introduce Robert to Bulworth because I know he'd never seen it before, and we're gonna have fun. And we're gonna have fun talking about it. And you're wondering, like, don't you normally do that with like a triple feature? No. One, I don't have to, and I've learned this with Damn You Hollywood as well. I don't have to load those shows up with Robert. Robert and I can fill 2 hours about just about anything. So I don't have to load up movies to fill time. So we're going to spend a good hour and a half talking about Bulworth, and it'll be the best hour and a half any of us has had in like 6 months.
It's a lot of Bulworth.
You ain't just whistling Dixie. Next Sunday, after I take my son for his birthday dinner, we are going to do the Metal Hammer of Doom. We're going to be looking at the very last ever Megadeth album, Megadeth,
Allegedly.
self-titled. Oh yeah. And then a week from tonight, this came out in, I think, February. It's taken this long to find an open spot on the calendar for us to talk about it. This is a Hulu movie in the blink of an eye. I think it debuted at South by Southwest, won some sort of award. It's an adult science fiction math movie. It's not getting great critical reviews. People are really struggling with it. So I'll be curious to see what Robert and I think of it.
You see a math movie?
Yeah. Look up the description. I'm not joking.
People don't like math.
So Happy is Wednesday the 15th, and then probably my favorite podcast that I've put together for the whole year. Right now, I think it's just Sean, possibly Kat. I've invited Dorian because I want to hurt his soul. We're looking at French extreme movies, as the AI told me that's what you should call it. Irreversible, Boisez-moi, look it up in the original French, and Trouble Every Day. I can't wait to talk about these movies. It's going to be fantastic. So
I'd make a joke about your opinion of women, but
would it be a joke though?
Okay, don't you see when I try to make the joke and then you actually make the joke, it makes me look silly, Mark.
That's fair.
I'm not a silly man.
All right, silly Willie, go ahead and do your plugs.
Speaking of silly, I cover mixed martial arts and professional wrestling over at 411mania.com with the utmost seriousness. It is WrestleMania season. In fact, WrestleMania is this Saturday.
Nope.
No?
It's the 19th.
Oh, 2 weeks. Not quite.
Oh my God! It's
I
next
don't care.
weekend, not this weekend.
I don't care.
It is the 18th and the 19th, pal.
Okay. So we're coming up on WrestleMania, and the closing build for this year's WrestleMania has been poorly received, would be an understatement. In fact, the last 2 episodes of WWE SmackDown are among the worst rated in that show's history in terms of fan ratings. 2 weeks ago was one of the worst episodes of WWE television I've sat through in years, including maybe the worst continuous 60 minutes they've produced in the last like 15 years, and that covers a lot of ground.
Wow.
First hour of SmackDown 2 weeks ago was painful, genuinely painful. They brought Pat McAfee on to be Randy Orton's buddy for this because, to quote Triple H, for a bunch of people, Pat McAfee is the face of the WWE. He was not forced at gunpoint to say that by Ari Emanuel, who is Pat McAfee's agent. So Friday we will continue that build, I guess. I'll be covering it for 3 hours. So
You poor bastard.
I don't feel good about my life many days in a lot of ways.
It's gonna be on your fucking tombstone.
Saturdays I cover UFC events. This last Saturday was a bunch of Apex crap that featured a lot of squash matches, so a lot of finishes at least. If you want a full review, listen to the 411 Ground and Pound MMA podcast. I go live around 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, technically Monday morning, because that's the way my life operates. I also have a preview on the of UFC 327. That is this coming Saturday. Good title fight, pretty good card all the way around. We did lose the co-main event, but that got bumped to 328, so we're still supposed to get Joshua Van versus Tatsuro Taira, which should be a very good fight too. So full preview there, and then Saturday, of course, coverage of it. So find me there. Find me Thursday back here talking Bullworth, because
Ghetto superstar. That's what Robert Winfrey is.
that's what you're in store for, folks. Tune in for the full month.
Yeah.
And yeah, next week, more of the same. We hope you all enjoy. Thank you very much for being here, for tuning in live or after the fact. Any way you can interact with the product, of course, is always appreciated. Whatever is applicable to your platform of choice, please throw us something our way. We appreciate the heck out of it.
All right. For Zach, lovely Zach, you're three shade Tates in a coat.
You bringing back my, this is actually like 3 kids in a coat, in a trench coat.
I am so messaging Dorian and telling him you said that.
Yes, for Zachary Strobel, cutie patootie Zachary Strobel, good to his mother Zachary Strobel. For that chick down there and Robert Winfrey, I'm an asshole. Be well, be safe, and behave.